Oh, okay. All right. We came in
everyone.
straight away. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Unity Clashes, a coverage of the Rework Esports Champions Talent Cup. We're going to go straight into our first game. We're already here in it is Mega Sceptile taking on Mega Tyranitar so far. It is Pelipper that's got set up the rain already, Nitera. How's your Champions knowledge, my guy? I'm really enjoying Pokemon Champions at the moment.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think I'm that great, but I am in Master Ball rank, so I've got some knowledge into this here. we're looking at raid teams right now, we can definitely see a clear advantage moving in with Mega Swampert here, with one of the best abilities I feel, Swift Swim. And this boy packs a punch, so watch out, Lobo. I think we've got something going.
Look, we've also got the Prankster coming through from the Grimmsnarl as well. Mega into the Mega Sceptile. Now, this has access to a lot of really nice moves as Mega Sceptile. It's going to go straight for that Mega Swampert, but however, it's going to protect first. Just try, because Mega Swampert is actually, I think, the fastest Pokemon in the format. We still don't know if Tailwind is up yet. There's the parting shot into the Pelly. Not going to affect the Pelly too much just because that little Toilet Bird is so very bulky right now. We have just entered this match very, very late. I mean, very early in the game, but Bellybolt coming out now, right now, going to try and use that Lightning Rod ability to empower that Sceptile just a little bit with that Lightning Rod.
And it's going to be a great moment for them here as they try to take a return on it. But mind you, Swampert is still on the field here, and this boy has the ground typing. So this is going to be a little bit dangerous for Bellybolt to stay on the field here. With Mega Sceptile though, it could threaten a KO right away. But there's just so many checks currently on the field here. Lobo, I'm just going to need you to run me through what exactly we can look forward to. Because at this stage of the game, definitely, again, it looks like we've got a lot going for Broccoli Man. And he's just kind of waiting his time out.
Yeah, he is one game down. However, M8 More is one up. So what we're looking at, I mean, we're probably looking for a double up into the Sceptile. They have protected in that last turn. Bellybolt is not the quickest Pokemon, but it wants to get that electric move off so we can empower that Swampert. Sceptile is going to take a quick trip back. We could see the Incineroar. Nice play out here for the Intimidate. It is going to drop that rain-boosted Water Crash going through. Swampert's going to use Earthquake. That is going to do a big chunk of damage to both of them. Actually, not at all. Bellybolt absorbs that very, very easily and does get powered up in the process. Sinistris Berry going to be propped as well. I mean, we've already seen the parting shot from the Grimmsnarl. If this Incineroar is able to survive, which it does, that Hurricane just bounces off of it. There's the Parabolic Charge. Doesn't affect the Swampert due to its ground typing. It is going to affect the Incineroar, however, but we could see, I mean, there's Fake Out pressure coming in right now. We're going to see possibly a Fake Out into the Swampert and another Parabolic Charge to really try and chunk down that Pelipper before Sceptile comes back in. Oh, I mean, never mind. Pelipper's just gone.
Right, and I mean, that's the important thing, right? Because, again, Pelipper, in the rain, one of its best moves is Hurricane, right? It was threatening the Sceptile there, and it just wasn't looking good. But right now, with that off the field, looks like we can play a little bit of an interesting game here. And more importantly, the switch in back to that is Excadrill, another ground type. Which means Belbo is basically stuck on this field. There's really not much to do if he wants to pick Discharge here. He's going to look for a different angle across. And all the same, I think Incineroar's in a weird spot as well. Doesn't really want to be taking another ground-type move from either of them here. And it's going to be interesting to see how he can actually pivot into Mega Sceptile moving into this here. With Rain still up as well, it's going to be a tough fight for them. It's a potential one more KO going in towards Broccoli Man. And then he might not really have much answers here. Grimmsnarl, very strong here. We're going to see whether he can actually do something on his hit to just kind of give him a potential tempo swing.
Yeah, look, it's going to be interesting to see. There's the Fake Out coming through from the Incineroar. It always threatens Fake Out damage. We could see another Earthquake. I don't know if this is going to bounce off of the Incineroar as well as we saw previously. No Citrus Berry, but the Incineroar is still going to survive. It does have access. I mean, now we're probably going to see possibly another parting shot. There's the Soak going to come through, removing that ground typing. This is exactly what Bellybolt is kind of known for. I mean, Swampert's already a part water typing, but you take away that ground typing, it now loses that electric immunity. Look at the health that Bellybolt is also on. If you, I mean, if you're Broccoli Man right now, you are probably going to look to soak the Excadrill as well, take away that ground immunity so you can get another Parabolic Charge in to come through. If you're that Incineroar, I'm not too sure. They're probably anticipating the parting shot. However, Excadrill is going to go for that Rock Slide. Bellybolt avoids the attack. This might be a KO on the Incineroar before they can get that parting shot. But this is a perfect chance to bring in Mega Sceptile, especially if Bellybolt's gone for that Soak. Oh, nope, it's just a Parabolic Charge. Okay, no Soak onto the Excadrill just yet.
Right, I mean, I was gonna mention that Swampert hasn't protected last turn because he went with Earthquake, right? So it's gonna be a swap of roles here, and you can definitely see how Excadrill actually accompanies that with the Rock Slide instead. But that also means that now without Rain, he's free to kind of switch out Swampert here. It's a little bit better for him to do so now, just so he gets back to ground typing. But there is a Mega Sceptile here, and honestly, I'm not too sure if that's the right call now, or maybe it's just trying to find an angle they can take against It's very threatening, especially when Sceptile speed's a lot higher at the moment. It's just gonna be a little bit tough for him to angle himself in a way that kind of gives him all the benefit. Bellybo especially, very tanky on the field. There's not much you can really do or say about it at the moment, giving Sceptile so much pressure just with Soak alone. So right now, if we're gonna look at the score here, it really looks like Broccoli Man is slated to win this.
Yeah, look, it's going to be interesting to see how they can pivot out. So they'll go for the protect, you know, just making sure that it's still outspeeds. A little bit defensive, because yes, Excadrill, also a very, very fast Pokemon. I'm very kind of surprised that they went for the protect there. Parabolic Charge, I mean, the Electromorphosis is going to come back through. Wave Crash is probably going to go into that Bellybot. It's still a pure water typing, so that is okay. Bellybot is just going to absorb that. If they're able to get this Parabolic Charge off from the Bellybot, it's just going to heal all of that right back up. Protect from the Sceptile, not going to be able to absorb any of that as well. And now coming through, it is actually just good. It is going to affect super effective damage on the Swampert and heal Bellybot right back up to full. This is the real danger with Bellybolt right now. So Excadrill takes absolutely no damage. Sceptile's in a good place right now where a fast type grass type move, it does have coverage in Energy Ball and Grass Knot. They can use moves like Earth Power as well. It did get access to Earth Power and Champions. It still hasn't been powered up due to that Lightning Rod. So, I mean, I'm curious to see what we're seeing here. Swampert with a swap in right now doesn't really make much sense because it does look like it's about to go down, but a Giga Drain is going to be good enough here.
That's a real rough one. I mean, importantly here, I think he doesn't even want to switch out at this one. But at this point, it's just better to let the KO happen so you get a safe switch in, right? I believe, at least I'm going to see if I can call this one right, it might be T-Tar coming in here. And especially with T-Tar and, of course, if, let's say, Excadrill has Sand Rush, it would actually make the game a lot more different, a lot easier for, you know, M8 to actually navigate around the field right now. With this Mega Sceptile here coming in, let's just see Parabolic Charge. Keeping it up to full, it's just going to keep ticking on the timer. A little bit of energy back from this, but just not enough to heal up to that 50% mark. So Bellybot's still not out of the woods just yet.
Yeah, the light screen, it has gone up, so special attacks are going to hit a lot bit harder. I guess that's what they were waiting for. You were completely right here. It is the Tyranitar. It's not the Mega Tyranitar as well. Tyranitar can threaten quite nicely. I mean, in the sand special, the special defense buff for rock types does go up as well. So Tyranitar is going to be a little bit bulky. However, it's not immune to the Parabolic Charge that Bellybot is going to be firing off to power up Mega Sceptile. Sceptile still has access to that Giga Drain. It is the fastest Pokemon on the field, which means, I mean, Broccoli Man is in a very, very good spot here. However, Sandrush Excadrill is nothing to laugh at. I really want to see the speed interaction here between both Pokemon. Sceptile's incredible Mega Speed, but Excadrill is going to be faster, super effective. High horsepower does take out the Bellybot.
I mean, obviously, this is a really good choice for Excadrill, but the problem is that he's still threatening against Excadrill with the Sceptile. Because at the end of the day, if Soak goes through onto Tyranitar, I think this is a game over regardless, because he's gonna lose the extra special defense he's getting from this. Sceptile taking big damage from that Dragon Claw, which is beautiful. But look at that, the Sandstorm's gonna keep him alive, he's gonna keep him healthy, he's gonna keep him well. Sceptile is a special attacker. So right now, technically speaking, even if you have super effective moves, Tyranitar is in a great spot. But with Grims now on the field right now I'm not too sure.
I mean, we got Prankster, we probably got access to screens once again. The reflect being off, the fake out pressure is there as well. You got Parting Shot coming through, but then Sceptile can just heal up right now. However, it having that Dragon typing, Dragon Claw is going to do a lot of damage, but I mean, Grimmsnarl is a fairy type as well compared to Tyranitar's secondary typing, which is Dark. We're going to see how it goes. It's Tyranitar versus the world right now, and that Sand Chip is not fun for Sceptile. Very low health there. It's going to go for the Protect. Not even going to risk going for it right now. They want to see what Grimmsnarl is going to do. Reflect. Even with the Reflect up here, Nitera, that Dragon Claw did a lot of damage. So I can't imagine, like, Sceptile wasn't low enough health that Dragon Claw probably would have KO'd through the Reflect.
the biggest problem here is a 2v1. Have you seen when we 2v1 against a Tano, for example, right? It doesn't end well for them. But the important thing here is that no matter how you play this out, even if they were to stall things, it is still going to slowly chip away at Tyranitar. There's nothing they can really do. Right, one turn you're blocking the Dragon Claw, the next turn you're getting prankstered into Parting Shot, and slowly as stats diminish, I mean, this Sceptile can stay a long time on the field, just purely because there's one more friend he has on the field, right? So it's gonna be tough for them to go through here. They need a good Rock Slide, they need a good Earthquake, they need a good anything that hits through.
I think that's a smart protect coming out from more on the Tyranitar. The Sand Stream, the Sand is going to do a little bit more damage. Spirit Break also not going to go through either. Tyranitar just stick around. Tyranitar has not taken a single hit point of damage. If he can get another Dragon Claw off, it just depends. Sceptile has got that boosted special attack from the Lightning Rod from before. It is, I think it's going to outspeed the Tyranitar as well. So Tyranitar might go down to a one-hit KO. If he can get that Dragon Claw off, they have turned this around, and they just have the Doomstar to deal with. It just depends on, you know, what Tyranitar's holding as an item. If it's that Light Clay, that Sand is going to be up for an extra amount of turns. Oh, sorry, the Soft Sand, or the, yeah, it's the Soft Sand, or the, yeah, I believe it's the Soft Sand that keeps the Sand up for just a bit longer. I need to double check that. But there is
the one that gives it,
yeah. And then we'll see how they manage to play around this, because yes, you're right, 2v1 is very, very hard to deal with.
At this stage, it's just a very tough call. I mean, you can definitely see how it kind of reflects how long it's taking to make this call. It's not something he can really do, but I believe that the only way out of this, again, is just a spread. He just needs to find a way to get it. That's a Giga Drain for 82% of his health here. The Cheetah is not looking good. That lead that he had, almost gone, like I said. And at the end of the day, this spread move could make or break it. If Grimstyle goes down, he doesn't, that's it. Right there. The Spirit Break's gonna fall through. And
look, in all honesty, the Earthquake was a good shout, but I mean the Dragon Claw. Yes, I understand the Earthquake, but it's a resisted move on the Grass type, Sceptile. However, the Dragon Claw is, you know, probably the more effective move. However, with that Reflect Up, it was going to be a problem to deal with. So, I mean, I think that comes back to a 1-1. We're going to get a Game 3 situation. We always love a Game 3 situation. Usually,
perfect.
Nitero, when we're casting these games together, we always have to wait 20 minutes for a Game 3 situation. But Pokemon Champions is a very, very back and forth, very fun chess-like game. So it's Mega Swampert versus Mega Sceptile. So far, I think it's one apiece now. Now both players know what is in the other player's kits. It's an open team sheet as well. We have time now just to take you through some of the teams. So I'm going to take you through Bakalib's team: Mega Sceptile, Unburden, Earth Powered, Protect, Dragon Pulse, and Giga Drain. Pelipper's got Wide Guard, Tailwind, Hurricane, Surf. Swampert themselves is the Mega Swampert, Wave Crash, Ice Beam, Protect, and Earthquake. Ice Beam for those pesky Dragon types. Garchomp is running rampant. No, I mean, it's interesting. No ice punch this time around. But you know, it's gonna be interesting to see how it goes. Parting Shot, Spirit Break, Reflect Light Screen for that. Prankster Screen's always so helpful. Incineroar just a stand. Oh no, this is not a standard Incineroar. It is Parting Shot, Fake Out, Helping Hand, Flare Blitz. Very interesting Incineroar. Parabolic Charge, Electric Terrain, Soak, and Protect on the Belly Bolt. Let's have a look at Tyranitar, Protect, Crunch, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, Exudrill, Protect, High Horsepower, Ironhead, and Rock Slide for pesky Fairy type for Ironhead. Mousehole, Population Bomb, Protect, Follow Me, and Rain Dance. Alolan Ninetales has the Light Clay for the Aura Veil to increase the screens. Running Blizzard, Dazzling Gleam, and Protect. Pelipper, Hurricane, Tailwind, Protect, Weather Ball, and Swampert running the Earthquake, Protect, Flip Turn, and Wave Crash. So far, right now, as we head into game number 3, Nitera, we're going to start off with some snow. That Ninetales, the fastest thing on the map. It could start off with an Aura, but Fake Out pressure from that Incineroar.
Right, I mean, starting early here, it's going to be one Fake Out energy, or, I mean, the call out here. Even if you are the fastest, you can still go down to a big Flare Blitz here. I'm not really sure what the call is here, but there's also the Pop Bomb that we gotta look out for. Early Fake Out coming in here is gonna lock into the low Ninetales, and then a setup of beautiful screens, which means this Pop Bomb that's gonna be flying off is gonna be taking a little less damage.
Look, Pop Bomb is
first.
interesting. It can hit up to 10 times. This we are going with the wide lens as well. Absolutely insane. Oh, and that was a crit on one.
Okay, there we go.
9.
That was the delay.
Citrus,
that was the delay.
the Citrus Bear is going to get popped by the Incineroar. Usually we do see Mousehold run Super Fang, you know, because there is a chance for Population Bomb to not do that much damage. But the fake out from the Ninetales comes through. Let's see if we can get ourselves an Auravel coming up, because that Auravel plus the screens from Grimmsnarl, very interesting to see the difference between Auravel and individual separate screens, Nitara.
In this case, though, I do feel like they have a lot going for them. And mind you, you did mention that this Incineroar also has Parting Shot, right? So it could turn the tide immediately. Sends in the Pellet Ball, sends in the Swampert one shot. It's gonna be quite crazy. There we go, that's the Pelipper. He needs to play control of the weather, considering that his opponent has 3 weather centers, which I think is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's a smart play. I mean, obviously Ninetales probably wanted to go for the Auravel, but then you fake it out turn 1, and maybe you kind of go for a hard breed to assume that the Ninetales is going to go for that Auravel again. But no, decides to go straight for that Dazzling Gleam to do as much damage to the weather says. It was a very, very smart call. Flare Blitz in to the Ninetales. However, fire moves weakened in the rain. I mean, as all Ninetales, one of the fastest base Pokemon in the game, so it does outspeed. And now, I mean, M8 More is in a good spot here, Nitara.
I mean, the way I see it, it's slightly going to be like maybe just clean up house here. It could be a helping hand into something. Or if he knows his damage calcs here, he could technically just run it down with the Flare Blitz a second time onto Ninetales, right? That one's a safe call. The problem is now that there's a rat and his entire family is just wailing on someone here. Right? We talked about 2v1 just now. Now it's a 4v1. Right, that Pop Bomb is not messing around with Pelipper. He is in KO range and it's not looking good. However, we have Incineroar who also can look to see if he can give a little bit more pressure onto the team. A beautiful white guard to call it out here. He's calling a Dazzling Beam out from the lone Ninetales. So this is interesting. The Pop Bomb pops in. That's the first.
Second.
2.
Third. 4. Population Bomb, one of the most annoying moves in the game. It only took 4. Pelipper is out, so they've lost their weather control right now on the side of Broccoli Man. Dazzling Gleam predicted beautifully by Broccoli Man. The White Guard is not going to allow that through. Flare Blitz is going to come through. This is going to be a KO on to the Ninetales. As support, Ninetales take them away. You take away 1 of the weather that Mort has on their side, and that is the snow. However, what they can do is now come in, set the sand if they would like to, or they can bring in their own Swampert right now just because the rain is already set up. However, we've had 2 turns of rain. We've got 3 turns of rain left. Excadrill going to come through as well. We could be seeing bye-bye to this Mousehold, however. I mean, this Mousehold is carrying, let me just check. It is carrying Follow Me, so it has got the redirection. It's got plus priority. You'll probably see the Mega Swampert evolve straight away.
That's the thing though, like I've already mentioned that obviously they have like 3 weather centers. But at this point it's very clear what the call is, right? You set out the weather, if he goes Mega, he's gonna lose out. And immediately that's the Sand calling in here. Sashu's knocked out. It looks like Excadrill will be flying in potentially with a Mega. But if we are seeing the Mega pop like this, I'm a little concerned that maybe Excadrill is not going to be Mega evolving.
No, the Excadrill is actually... The Excadrill is running the Focus Sash, so it is Tyranitar and Swampert that are both the Mega Evolutions. Tyranitar and Swampert on the side of Mort that are going for both. The Rock Slide gets the flinch. Flare Blitz going to go through. Super effective on the Steel type Excadrill, and that's why you run the Focus Sash to hang on with 1 HP, not to be affected by the sand. The Rock Slide flinch was absolutely massive. But Incineroar is going to take themselves out with that one. So there's only a Grimmsnarl and a Marshtomp versus a... I mean, the 2 fastest and most most effective Pokemon in sand and whatever, and that Mousehold left to deal with. It's a 3v2 situation right there.
Yeah. But hang on here, I do also want to mention something, is that you did mention that it is a T-Tar Mega. And the important thing about T-Tar Mega is that his ability doesn't change. So it's Sandstream again. On Mega, if the weather is gone, he's just going to reset the sand. This is perfectly set up by him. He had 4 setters of weather technically. And right now, it doesn't even look like he needs to pop it off here. Of course, the stats would be nice, but I think at this stage, it's a little bit rough. He's just going to let Excadrill go for another Rock Slide here, and he gets another flinch just by some PK hacks. my lord, this is going to be a tough one. But a Reflect is coming up in just a bit, right? I mean, that's what we're expecting.
Well, that is what we're expecting right now because, I mean, we could see the Rock Slide. We could see the Earthquake with the high horsepower coming out from the Excadrill as well. The Mega Tita is going to evolve. Sand is already going to be active, so it does not matter. However, this makes Tita even bulkier and hard to take down. Iron Head into the Fairy type is going to do a decent amount of damage, but behind that Reflect, not enough. We could see a parting shot come through. Nope, but the Earthquake is going to go first on the Tyranitar. It is going to take down their own Excadrill, though. So risking the Excadrill for your own damage is quite an interesting play. Tyranitar takes big damage from the Earthquake from the Swampert as well. But, I mean, just friendly fire all over the place.
It still could be over, though. It still could be. And mind you, we still have a family of 4 here. It's a 4-piece combo that's coming in with a 10 walloping hits. So let's just see how this one pans out for itself here. Even if Swampert goes on with an earthquake, right? Like, there's still more.
Yeah, look, I mean, I'm thinking Tyranitar might protect here to try and get a little bit more damage off on the population. Well, Mousebot is going to outspeed. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Unbelievable. Even if this Earthquake does absolutely nothing, the crunch is actually going to come through to ensure a stab damage come through. And that is going to be a KO. Moore is going to take this one 2-1. Beautiful set that we were just jumped into there, Nitera. Give me your thoughts as we look back on it.
Right, I mean, at the end of the day, it really comes down to playing with the weather. When it comes down to a format without restricted Pokemon here, so no legendaries, you don't have your Deers running around, your Eviphals, you know, it always goes back to the core of weather, right? Sun, rain, and now even more potent is the sand and snow, which have been changed very recently throughout the years. So this is a very great thing to see, especially now the Excadrill is back in the field with a Mega as well. And we're not even seeing that. We're even seeing resurgence of old Pokemon that can give new life because new Pokemon were added. A great setup coming in by the Mega Sceptile with the Lightning Rod paired with what would be a Discharge user is going to be the Parabolic Charge user, Bellybolt, for example. And setting him up with Soak as well. A great setup, but moving into that, I think there's just so much more that we're going to look forward to. I, however, will have biases. You know what Pokemon I'm looking for. I'm waiting. You're smiling. You know it. You miss it.
I know exactly what Pokemon you are referring to, and I have the utmost pleasure in saying that I've O-code every Lucario that I have come into contact with.
Oh my
and I'm
God.
so very glad that I don't have to run into a Mega Lucario. But so we did just jump in just really quickly, but this is the Rework Esports Championship Talent Cup. This is the second cup that Rework Esports have put on. There is a €50 prize. And of course, it's being run in doubles format. And you can check out all of the teams and everything going on over at limitless.com. It's absolutely incredible what's going on. So we just going over the format. We have, I believe, let me have a look. We have about 6 or 7. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. We have 6 or 7 rounds of Swiss, and then we're going to go into our elimination bracket. Now, just based on the timing and everything else, it is 2 a.m. in the morning from Nitera. There might be a chance that we're only going to be covering just the Swiss rounds for this one. We're all just playing it by ear. It's a very casual stream to put on and cover this incredible event that Rework Esports are doing. So, but before we get on to round 2, Nitera, I think we're going to take a quick break. We're going to find ourselves round 2. Yes.
Hold on. Is that a Litten behind you? Could you just turn around and grab it?
Other way. That is a Litten.
Yep.
That is a Litten.
Oh, that's so cute. So we're gonna sit back here, watch this go back into the fade here. We'll come back with the Rework Esports Champion Talent Cup in just a bit here. Thank you so much, Lobo.
Don't go anywhere. See you soon. Oh my god. All right, we're in already.
Everyone.
it's so sudden. Welcome back, everyone, to the Rework Esports Pokemon Champions Cup. We've got our next game up for you. We are going to be spectating Skull TT Bone, who is a member of Rework Esports gear. They have played at Unity Clash in Pokemon Unite. So it's a very interesting cross that we've got here, but we've got Mega Mawile already out with the Sneasler and the Mega Malamar. That is a team that is being driven by Keely, who is an Australian player. Now, Mega Malamar is quite interesting here, Nitera. It's got contrary.
Not worth it.
But a lot of people aren't like really hyped about this Pokemon so far.
It's not worth it. It's not worth it, guys. Why do you hurt yourself like this?
Yeah, but now what's interesting on Keely's team is they do have the Hisuian Zoroark, so it's always a game, but that we can see on the screen Hisuian Zoroark was KO'd very quickly. Very interesting to see Hisuian Zoroark brought out with that disguise ability, Nitara.
Right. Which means he's probably hiding something really important here. I'm looking at it potentially being a Samurai or Raichu, because you want to get a lot of pressure onto it here. You want to lock them out here, so you know it's potentially one of those two. I do favor the Raichu call a little bit more, but let's see if we call out the Dixie. And now it's going to be a little bit interesting because this ground type Pokemon again. It's a ground type. It's going to hit really hard on the Mega Mawile.
This is so interesting because it's huge power Diggersby with Choice Scarf, so it's going to be hitting like a truck. It's got Rock Slide, Earthquake, Ice Punch, and U-Turn. I mean, anything right now is going to hit Sneasler and this Mawile as hard as possible. Malamar is going with Protect as well. We don't know if Trick Room is up just yet, so Protect into Earthquake sounds really good for Keely right now.
I mean, I'm looking into more of a U-turn angle because he has a great pivot here. He can force another KO the next turn after that. It's actually really good for him to keep one Pokemon out so he can slowly, you know, try and trickle out the Pokemon, chip them out quite a bit. A clean close combat coming in here, of course, unburdened, and that's the Dixie on. We'll never know the answer, Global. I guess that's just how it is.
That's really unfortunate. I mean, with Protect coming up for the Malamar, I mean, I was almost proven right. We'll never know now. Player off going to go into that Malamar slot as well. I mean, Mega Mawile is also running that huge power as well. That attack stat is sky high. Priority would be really, really nice right now. I mean, Malamar is also running that Trick Room, but Mega Mawile is also very good inside Trick Room. Shiny Hisuian Zamorak coming out as well. Very strong Pokemon. However, that close combat to those dark types is gonna hurt.
Yeah, and mind you, it's unburdened. But the Sucker Punch is going to clean this up. I'd have loved to see a Ceaseless Edge here to set up a little bit of spikes, a little bit of hazards here. Just give them a bit of chip, but of course, here we are in this scenario. Superpower does lock in, and that's the double. Now we're in a neutral position here. Oh, I guess not so neutral if Malamar is actually having an attack and defense. It's the last two Pokemon against their last two.
I mean, you were talking about contrary. I mean, I'm actually getting hypnotized by this Mega Malamar right now with those circles on the screen. Sinistry going to come out. No one to really give that hospitality to as well as that Milotic. Milotic definitely very specially bulky. It's also going to be very hard. There aren't really that moves that are going to hit that Milotic for a lot of super effective damage. Sinistcha also there. These two are Pokemon that just stick around, especially due to that Rage Powder. But one Ceaseless Edge could, I mean, dark in the days. Rage Powder going to come out from the Sinistcha. Let's see what the follow-up is here, Nitara.
Right, I mean, Rage Powder moving in here, which means if X's comes through, that's the pickup here. It's a good bottoms up on the end. There we go, and the superpower is gonna miss because of that Ghost typing. This is not 10. But now, with Coil, I am a little bit scared because when your accuracy increases, there is a good chance he's gonna be using a specific move to maybe you know, get you a little bit sleepy.
Yeah, we know the standard set, especially on these bulky Milotics. It's got Coil, Hypnosis, Protect, and Muddy Water. Hypnosis is probably going to go into one of these slots right now to make sure they take them out. But the Rage Powders are just going to come from this Sinistcha as well. The Sinistcha is also running Life Cube, so it can heal up the Milotic if it does get health. But, I mean, now there's just no other option. Psycho Cut going to go through. Sinistcha's still going to live that one.
Right, another Coil coming in here. What a greedy player you are. Skull just calling it out here. The Machigacha comes in, does not grab onto the Samurai, but it's all good. Comes in, hits up the Malamar. It's a little bit over the 80 mark, but at least right now, I do think this is a bit dangerous because of the burn. Mind you, it is going to be running superpower later on for a little bit of extra stat. It's physically stabbed, right? Special, it's not a special attack, it's a physical, normal attack stat. That burn, 50% gone.
And that's really tough because that Milotic also has coil twice, so its attack and defense alongside its accuracy are up 2 stages. So still haven't seen a Hypnosis yet come out from the Milotic, which is going to be a problem because they need to double up into the Sinister to get rid of it. If the Sinister is able to live the double up that's coming, most likely due to that Rage Powder, we could see a Life Cube come out. There's the Rage Powder once again. Just gonna give this Milotic a chance to be as bulky as possible. Oh, this is yep. Coil again. Coil again on the Milotic.
Ooh! What a turn! That's the freest turn I've ever seen. Hypnosis comes in here, definitely going on Samurai because, hey, this Malamar could potentially press Superpower and miss it out. I mean, this is a great call for them. And I might even potentially see a third core come up here. This is great for the Milotic. It's just going to be so bulky, so ready to hit the Muddy Water with max accuracy at this point.
Yeah, max accuracy Muddy Water to not only drop the opponent's accuracy, but, I mean, Skull could go even more and just decide that they want to coil even more. They can make this as annoying game as possible. Psycho Cut's not going to do anything. It's going to tickle the Sinister. Muddy Water going to come through. It's going to do a little bit of damage, but even though that attack is getting boosted by that Milotic, it's still going to take a little bit. Accuracy rose on the side of the Malamar. Not exactly the stat you want being raised. Oh, super effective Matcha Gacha on the Hisuian Samurai.
Ooh, that's a Matcha Gacha. Truly, look at the amount of HP he's back here. It's just so much going into it. In fact, the focus should have been on to our dear little teacup right there. I feel like at this point, there's no saving the Milotic. You just gotta go in onto, Mr. Matcha Gacha. See this shot here, doing so much damage off one Matcha Gacha. I'm kind of concerned whether they can actually play this out moving forward.
No, I think this one has got to be over. With Malamar Burn getting chip damage as well. Hisuian Samurai gonna go for full sleep turn. Psycho Cut gonna come through from the Malamar. They're not gonna be enough. And if this is a Muddy Water, I think this is going to possibly be enough to pick up. Oh, Samurai lives on one. Nope. But yeah, I think this game is almost. Yeah, I think this game is almost done and dusted. Very interesting to see though, here in Nitera, that the Raichu was not brought by Keeley into this battle. Very, very good check into that Milotic. Right.
I mean, one thing I particularly dislike is the fact that there is a Zoroark, right? Because at the end of the day, Zoroark gives does one of two things, right? It's in a sense of distraction, gives you a little bit of a tempo lead if they try to play fake out pressure, right? Because of the ghost type. But I get to find out what your Pokemon is, right? I know 3 of your rosters just like that. It's just not worth it at times, I feel. And especially when you have Sinister at the back, you are happy to know there's a Samurai there.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I think the Sinister was a very key into this fight. I mean, the double superpower into the ghost slot wasn't going to do much. You should have just kept going with the Psycho Cuts just to make sure that you're getting damage no matter what on to that Sinister as well. The Milotic setting up 2 coils, a really hard thing to deal with, as we're just looking at the lovely lobby screen. So, I mean, that was only game 1, so we're going to wait for game 2. Keeley doing all right into this one. Let's see if they switch it up and bring the Raichu this time around. What do you make of that option, just because of how problematic the Milotic was?
I mean, it really depends on what you're running, right? I mean, currently there are 2 Raichu sets that you run. Not the 2 Megas, but in particular, it's either you're running a Mega set or you're running a very supportive fake out pressure into maybe a bolt tackle kind of set that you go with. It's a lot of damage going in, it's a lot of speed, and your blocking stats mainly. So let's see whether it's the case. I do feel do we have the spreadsheets open? Sorry,
we do. We got the Raichu having the Mega Charizard Mega Raichu Y. Is the Mega Raichu being run? It's going Protect, Zap Cannon, Focus Blast, and Grass Knot. Zap Cannon would have been very helpful to deal with that Milotic in the previous game.
And mind you, it's just a little bit upsetting or a little bit unlucky that we also had the Milotic go for a special attack set here, which is very normal, of course, with Muddy Water. But more importantly, that both the Pokemon at the very end for Skull was a Sinister, which is also a very specially attacked favorite Pokemon. And Malamar was bulking defense, not special defense,
Yeah.
you know? So it was just a little bit of a rough spot.
A lot of the time, you know, Milotic is already a especially bulky Pokemon as well. It's able to tank quite a lot of hits that aren't super effective damage. Increasing its physical defense as well just makes it kind of a wall, but it's mostly about that accuracy for Coil, because you want to make sure Muddy Water, if you're running Muddy Water, is super accurate, but then also if you're running Hypnosis, which a lot of Milotics are running Hypnosis nowadays, it is going to be 100% accurate Hypnosis, which is, I mean, I think it's 85% accurate if I'm not mistaken. I will just double check that.
About that.
I
can tell you that it doesn't matter, you know. If it's not,
I can tell you it doesn't matter
100%.
after it does not matter after a Coil has gone up. It is a 70% accurate, so the same as Sleep Powder, but you know, in previous in Champion Storms I've casted, I've seen 3 Sleep Powders hit in a row. It's just RNG, but Skull taking RNG completely out of it. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this second game goes as we wait to get it started up.
Right. I mean, I'm looking forward to see how they want to play this out here. They still have a Mega Raichu at the back that they could hold on to. But I think that's the kind of surprise factor. I don't really want to see the Mega Raichu out in round 2. I want to see a 1-1 scenario and then the Mega Raichu gets pulled out. Because Mega Raichu has the added benefit of being just a beautifully, very dangerous sweeper. I mean, that's the benefit, right? So I think it's going to be the more or less same setup here with the last 2 on the bench for Keely being Malamar and Samurott here. But who am I to say?
I don't know. It's I mean, Diggersby, we have not seen this Diggersby take a single deal a single point of damage with the, yeah, I mean the Super Fangs can go through on to the Mega Mawile. The Fake Out Pressure Diaclaw gonna come through, gonna bounce off of the Noivern, so we'll see what is able to be done. This Pokemon coming in now has to be of very big point. It is gonna be the Raichu this time around, so it is going to take the place. I mean, Unburdened still not active on the Sneasler just yet. It is Focus Sash Sneasler as well, so it is going to be living a hit. The double up into the Sneasler is a very possible with this Noivern here, Nightera, who is running.
I don't see it.
I mean, it's running Draco Meteor, Super Fang, Taunt, and Tailwind. Mega Raichu is going to come through, but we could also get a Focus Blast right into that Mega Mawile slot.
I'm thinking it's a Focus Blast in Mega Mawile. He takes a close combat somewhere. Because there's a Sucker Punch that keeps coming through. Like I said, there Noivern takes the hit down. It was a little bit rough for him, but if not, this Focus Blast that flies through will take a KO potentially onto Mega Mawile, and there it is.
Yeah,
that's a great call. And the crit did not matter. Don't lie to me. You don't lie to me.
The crit did not matter. Close combat into that Raichu slot. See how much damage this does. It's gonna Oko the Mega Raichu, because as fast as you are with the Mega Raichu and as much damage as you do with that special attack, it is a very, very frail Pokemon. 3 Pokemon down for Keely right now. It's going to be 1 versus 3 right now, and I wonder who that one is going to be.
Samurott, alright. I mean, it was only 1 difference here. I would have loved to see Malamar come in again, but I think he's learned his lesson on the, let's not bring a physical set going into this. Let's bring a more specialized set with Mega Raichu, and at least we'll have like a backup physical attacker. And Diggersby, of course, cannon fodder. Yeah,
you're not wrong. The Diggersby is an interesting call in that first turn. I wish we could have gotten to see the first turn, because we came in just as it was getting Sucker Punch. Mega Samurott, normal Samurott is just going to outspeed the board right now. Close combat. Chopper Berry going to be used, going to try and reduce the amount of damage. Still no Unburden proc on this Sneasler, but that is going to do a lot. And if this is a Machigacha from the Sinistcha, I think this one might just be done and dusted here, Nightera.
Yep. Right, and so that's the Machigacha. That's the cleanup. And it looks like Skull picks himself up round number 2 as well.
Skull, I think losing their round 1 match, but picking up a nice victory in round 2, which is exactly what you want to see as to how they fight back into this one. So a lot of nice games going on between both. I mean, it was interesting to see. So I want to say Diggersby probably an interesting shout here with the huge power call. Choice Scarf, not exactly the fastest Pokemon out there. It does get outsped by a lot of other Pokemon, not also huge power Mega Mawile with Sucker Punch is a thing, and it is going to hurt as well. So, I mean, Keely picking up an important KO on the opposite Mega, but just wasn't able to survive long enough to pick up a very important character because whenever I don't know about you, but when I'm playing champions, I see Sneasler, I'm targeting that Sneasler every game.
Right, I mean, it really depends on how you play it, right? Because as much as it's fake out pressure, there's also, what if my Sneasler just decides to close combat you into the face, right? And there's a lot of things that you can look around into it. Not every, okay, sometimes having a pressure in some form and not using it is a lot more pressure than you think, right? The existence of it, it's Schrodinger's fake out, let's call it that, right? It's on Sneasler, of all things, it's a cat. But I think importantly, Lobo, as we go into the next set of games, maybe after this short break, it's what are we looking forward to here? Because we've seen a wide range of megas here, right? We've seen a total of 8 megas, which is surprising. Sorry, 7 megas, 6 megas, because we had 2 Swampers, right? So it's gonna be interesting to see what else we can see. I mean, we have data back from, I think, a few regions back where we had Wolfie Glick run into Mega Steelix and Mega Tyranitar. That was interesting. I'm hoping to see if we can see something like a Mega Slowbro potentially into the fray here, or I haven't seen a Sun team yet with Mega Charizard Y.
No, we haven't seen a Sun team just yet, but we are seeing a few. I'm just having a look at the standings right now on Limitless where we can have a look at some of the teams. A lot of Mega Floettes. There's a few Mega Star Raptor teams. I am seeing a few Pyro teams. I would love to watch a bit of Pyro. That is the new Sun, or the Sun Light, if you will, the Mega Charizard Light. We are seeing a lot of Mousehold actually being run, but a lot of this competition right now is actually being dominated by Sceptile and Swampert picks as well.
Wow.
Mega Metagross around here, Mega Gengar with Perish Trap most likely. But those are our most common megas. A few Mega Scrafties and Mega Mawilds coming through. So there is a lot of stuff. I mean, we're only through 2 rounds of the Swiss rounds. I think we have about 6 or 7 rounds left to go. Don't you dare. But we will be right back. Don't go anywhere. We'll bring you round. Yes.
Is that a Rowlet behind as well?
Yes, it is.
Can you turn around and pick it up for me?
No, I'm not going to turn around and pick it up. I'll pick it up when we come back from this break. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. And now.
Now. Like maybe it will like turn just a little bit, you know.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are going to bring you the final closing minutes of round 2 for the match we've got on the screen, which is going to be Uzumaki Thomas taking on Pyojam. Uzumaki Thomas running the Aerodactyl King Gambit on your left, and the Mega Metagross on the right belongs to oh my god, I've already got the Pyojam. I mean, this could be an interesting match. Nitera, Choreograph going to be sent out. I mean, stopping any of that priority coming through, which, of course, that Mega Metagross has access to in the form of Bullet Punch. King Gambit, a problem to deal with. Ironhead going to go into the Sylveon and take it out very quickly.
That's a great start moving into this year. My issue moving from then on is how are they actually going to go about it? Choreograph is one of the strongest Pokemon in the game by proxy of its ability, Armor Tail here. There are just a few too many Steel types with Bullet Punch in the meta right now. I mean, I'm not even talking about Lucario, but like, look at this Metagross trying to be hyper aggressive here. Not really able to capitalize on that. I mean, he has Psychic Fangs here, which is really nice. He has maybe a Meteor Math. Tough Claws just gives so much extra damage, but if that Choreograph is stopping you, you know, you can't really clean up the King Gambit without thinking one more thing.
Yeah, look, protection coming from the Metagross. Doesn't want to take a Dark type move like that Kowtow Cleave from the King Gambit. This Earthquake coming up from the Garchomp is going to hurt like a truck with the Protect coming up from the Metagross. This King Gambit does not want to deal with this ground type move. It was on 1 HP, so it doesn't really matter. It was going to go out anyway. We might get the Mega Aerodactyl come back in as well. So we've only got a takedown. Life Orb Chip going to come through the Garchomp as well. Twin Beam on to the Garchomp. Going to do a little bit of damage. I don't think it's going to be affected by that Rough Skin at all, Nitera. But let's see what Uzumaki decides to bring out. Tailwind has gone off as well. So speed control is up for grabs.
It's going to be a little bit tight here. He's got to wait for an opportunity. Aerodactyl comes in like you said here. That speed control could be the make or break here. One really good Rock Slide, right, is all it takes to end the speed.
Yeah, to start the flinches coming up is a problem. Rock Slide could come up from the Mega Aerodactyl. It is going Rock Slide, Dual Wing Beat, and Tailwind alongside that Protect as well. Now, we haven't seen what's in the back apart from that King Gambit, but I could hazard a guess right now that what is waiting in the back, you know, we have the King Gambit, we have the Garchomp of their own. Ice Fang going to come through on that opposing Garchomp and take it out.
Right. I mean, I would wager your guess being that there's a Garchomp at the back as well here. One of the fastest Pokemon in the format just by raw base stats. So, I mean, we can see that. We already have a Mega Aerodactyl, so I don't think we will see a Mega Zard anymore. So, at this rate, it's probably a Mega Garchomp. Oh, sorry, not Mega Garchomp, just a regular Garchomp.
They've already got Tailwind control and speed control in the form of that Mega Aerodactyl, but that is going to be the red flag put up as well here by Pyojam as well. So it's going to be a 1-1. So we're going to head ourselves to a game 3 situation here. Nitera, we might as well go over the team. Uzumaki Thomas is running the Charizard with the Mega Charizard Y, the Aerodactyl with the Mega Aerodactyl Light, Garchomp, King Gambit, Choreograph, and Whimsicott. Fairly standard moves across all Pokemon. Low Kick and Sucker Punch on your King Gambits alongside Kowtow Cleave. Ironhead to deal with those pesky fairy types. We've got Thunderbolt, Twin Beam, and Sunny Day alongside Trick Room to deal, you know, with those pesky rain teams. Encore, Moonblast, Tailwind from the Whimsicott, as well as Protect, Earthquake, Rock Tomb for the Garchomp, alongside Dragon Claw, Dual Wing Beak, Rock Slide, Tailwind, and Ice Fang for that Aerodactyl, and fairly standard for your Mega Charizard Y. That is Uzumaki Thomas. Now, we've got Pyojam here as well, who managed to clean, who took the first game, lost the second game, so now we're going to go into our third game. Life Orb, Garchomp, Mega Charizard Y, Mega Metagross, Incineroar with Fake Out, Throat Chop, Parting Shot, Flare Blitz, fairly standard for an Incineroar. We've got the Sylveon with Detect, a Nuclear option in that Hyper Beam with Pixelate, going to be boosted by that Fairy Feather, and then Priority Quick Attack as well. Their Aerodactyl is not the Mega, but it is running Rock Slide, Dual Wing Beak, and Tailwind. A lot of mirrors on these teams, especially with the Aerodactyl and the Garchomp in Nitera.
Right. I mean, again, one of the strongest pairings, right? When it comes to Charizard, I mean, you're gonna see Aerodactyl more so than Whimsicott in terms of your Tailwind setter. So I'm not very surprised there, and especially it resists quite a good amount of stuff that, you know, one or the other could counter. On the other hand, the Garchomp here, obviously one of the strongest Pokemon in the current format here, with its high base stats, high base speed as well. I mean, there's a reason why it's not on the Mega Duty, because it's losing 10 base stats here, right, of its speed. So you can definitely see why it is so valuable. But, you know, let's bounce back to the game here and see how it goes.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what our leads are going to be. It is going to be Aerodactyl, Kingambit, and Metagross leading with the Incineroar. So fake out pressure on both sides. Also pressuring that Kingambit with a Flare Blitz to the face. Nice.
Right. I mean, it's trending all the same, but it's not the worst thing in the world here. And mind you, this Kingambit could be running a few different ways. Yeah, he has Sucker Punch as well. Can threaten on the Metagross. I mean, the Metagross has only one real option if he wants to fight against Sucker Punch, right? And that's just to take a Protect here. But if he takes a Protect, that's a fake out that's going into Incineroar maybe, you know, for that. And then we also have the other issue of what if Aerodactyl sets out Tailwind?
Yeah, I'm also thinking you could just be baiting this is exactly what I thought. You've led without the Farigiraf. You're gonna swap in the Farigiraf, assuming that the Metagross thinks that Bullet Punch is free. Now Armor Tail is up, so that is going to be a free move, unless they've read it and they've gone for the Psychic Fangs here. But Incineroar's going to go for Fake Out. Not a chance. No, I mean, that was a very nice read in for the Farigiraf swap. However, Metagross didn't fall for it and went for a Body Press, which is going to take that Kingambit down to its focus set.
It's a great call, really. And all the same, we're going to see how it pans out here. Low kick to see if we can take a KO. Not enough onto this Incineroar, who also procs Berry up. And so right now, sitting a little bit healthier at the 47%. But that also means Metagross now has the priority. Bullet Punch is being kind of disabled right now by the Farigiraf. They need to take this Farigiraf out before they can really do much here. Or they just kind of swing for, you know, defenses here. Maybe a nice Psychic Fang, a nice, you know, Meteor Mash could really change the tide.
And well, it's carrying Body Press instead of Meteor Mash. Psychic Fang's not going to affect the Kingambit because it's a Dark type. So your attack to the Farigiraf is your probably only chance. However, this Incineroar is running Throat Chop, so you could double into the Farigiraf and get yourself some priority right back in to your way. So we'll see what they decide to do. There's a lot of options. Twin Beam on the Farigiraf. They could also decide to just retreat it and keep that priority block coming up.
Right. So as they go into it, though, it comes down to, I guess, what they want to play around here, which I think it's kind of safe to say, especially when we're looking into the Darkest Lair and going into that. It's a nice pick up here. They do at least get a healthy Pokemon on the field with the Garchomp, who is kind of set up to just tank everything that you control in that moment.
Right now, Garchomp is in a good place. You're right. I mean, the one thing I can imagine, Incineroar's already taken a bit of damage. Again, with now Aerodactyl here, you've got two of the fastest Pokemon on Uzumaki Kit's side as well. So Metagross is in a little bit of trouble. We don't have no fake out pressure. The Parting Shot will probably move second to last. I mean, especially if Aerodactyl decides to get up a Tailwind, ensure that doesn't happen. You could retreat the Incineroar out right now and come back in with an Intimidate to kind of cripple the physical attackers on Uzumaki Kit's side.
Right. Oh, but do note that, of course, Metagross has different abilities going into it, but when he Megas, he loses one of its core abilities that he loves to have, aside from Clear Body, which is the Levitate ability. So, you know, it is a good chance to just throw in that Earthquake here for the side of Uzumaki, which at this point, I mean, looks really good. But, ooh, look at that, coming in with a mirror of its own here. It looks like we're gonna see the Mega pop off here, just so we can differentiate who is who. Uzumaki is in the lead here with a Mega Aerodactyl and a Garchomp, who's going to be swinging for the fences going into this. Bullet Punch pops through, and it's going to take quite a bit onto it, but not enough for the KO, which means it might be time to boogie with a dual Wing Beat and maybe an Earthquake to follow up.
Yeah, I mean, dual Wing Beat's not going to do too much to that Metagross, a very bulky Pokemon. We'll see what, I mean, Earthquake is only going to be fully pressured on to that Metagross. Both Aerodactyls not going to be affected by that one. However, that Mega Aerodactyl taking that big amount of damage from that Bullet Punch. Metagross takes a lot of damage as well. It's still got access to that priority. However, I mean, it's still going to get outsped. So this is a good chance. If they think that they're going to go for that bullet punch, you bring back in the Farigiraf. Yeah, stop that priority. Now Aerodactyl has a chance to set up maybe a Tailwind of their own, or you bring back the Incineroar and chuck an Intimidate out for good measure.
Maybe. I mean, all the same here, they're in an interesting position for both players who, I mean, they can definitely swing the tempo of the game to their favor at any point in time. So they have to be a little bit more assured of themselves moving into it.
That's one call right. That's second call right. Yep, there's the Farigiraf trying to predicting the bullet punch was going to come through. There's the Incineroar to stop the Earthquake damage. The Tailwind going to come out from the Aerodactyl to give speed control to the side of Poyo Jam. However, there is the Rock Tomb is going to come through onto the Aerodactyl. It's about half damage. Speed is going to fall. Now, this Farigiraf is holding Trick Room. So right now it has the option to set up that Trick Room, reverse the dimensions, and put the speed control right back into Uzumaki Kid's side here, Nitera.
I really love if you actually hit the Trick Room here. At this point, you are running with 3 Pokemon against his Mega Metagross as well. If you can take a KO with Garchomp, that's great. And then you have a Trick Room set up, that's even better. At this stage, there's not really much you can do with this double lead here, because if Aerodactyl goes for like a flying type move, it's not only going to do neutral damage, but like, what is our Fire Cat going to do? It's kind of stuck here, so this is a great time to swing tempo back this game.
Dual Imbic Knee was massive. Garchomp going to take a little bit more life orb damage. Incineroar is here going to go for the Darkest Lariat because they want access to that bullet punch again if that Mega Metagross is going to come back in. Only half damage for Farigiraf, and there's the Trick Room. So speed control right back on to Uzumaki Kid's side. Now, Tara, I have to say, I'm 3 for 3 with predictions. I'm enjoying my life today.
Hey, you know what? You can have the spotlight today. You know, I think it's great that you're getting the groove into this. You know, I will get my moment. I will get it.
No, you 100% will. Well, I mean, I guess, again, it's just fun when, I guess, when you play Pokemon Champion, it's always interesting because you and I were talking about it before. Just trying to coming up with the player. I think it's so much different when you're actually in game as opposed to watching it. Sylveon is here. Twin Beam going to hit. Not going to do too much damage. Sylveon very, very bulky, but a Hyper Voice, Pixelate Hyper Voice is going to hurt that Garchomp quite a bit.
There's Darkest Lariat, and finally the Farigiraf goes down. I think he recognized it was time for it to go. Now it is down. Metagross can safely enter in with a nice bullet punch of his own here, if it's not going to Garchomp.
Yeah, I mean, look, the Earthquake is going to send the Fire Kitty right back to Nurse Joy. It's a lovely little call that we use in Pokemon Unite, but also very nicely used in here. There's a super effective Fairy Hyper Voice. Gonna take Garchomp down as well. So 3 Pokemon down for the side of Uzumaki Cat. I think all they've got left is that Mega Aerodactyl. However, 2 Pokemon left on the side of Pyogen, including their Mega. So it's Aerodactyl versus the world here, Nitera. And I mean, it's a tough one, but they've got speed on their side with the Trick Room setup. But look at the damage they take. Is this a Rock Slide and Hope kind of angle?
I'm not really sure. I mean, at this stage, when you're 1 Pokemon down, I don't know what kind of prey you can call for or what kind of god there is. I think Arceus is the only one that you can really try and ask for help in this situation, but there is no prayer being answered here today.
It doesn't really matter at that point, because when you have that priority bullet punch with a Metagross, it is not going to matter how fast you are, what kind of speed control you have. You are going to be moving second and going to be taken down. So congratulations to BF. You've done, that was a good way to bring that back. I think they went down in the first match and brought it back to 2-1. So I think that's going to round out our round 2, Nitera. I mean, we got to see 2 really, really nice matches from round 2. A lot of fun. I mean, Mega Metagross we hadn't seen before, Mega Aerodactyl we hadn't seen today, but those were pretty a prominent mainstay from MA1, and now Mega Metagross, a prominent mainstay in Regulation MB.
Right. So as we go into that later on, we're going to be seeing a little bit more Megas coming into the fray here. I mean, I think you did mention there's like a Charizard that could be roaming around for us that we could see. But if not, we could just kind of need to take a short break as we go into the next round here. Lobo, I'm quite excited for it. I hope you are too. So let's jump off to the chat real quick and let's see what we have in store for all of you later on.
Welcome back, everybody. We're going into round 3 straight away with 2 undefeated players right now at Nitera. We've got Snowy and we've got, oh my god, Blazy from France. This is gonna be such an interesting Blaze. All right, there's an HE. There's an HE at the end of their name.
I think it's Snowy.
Snowy. But I mean, this is gonna be. It's just Mega Charizard and Mega versus Mega Blaziken. We haven't seen a Mega Blaziken just yet, but that speed boost ability is a big problem to deal with. But they have led it with that Whimsicott. I mean, Whimsicott not going to be a big fan of this sun-boosted Heat Wave that's probably coming to play.
I mean, mind you that running Whimsicott usually means Tailwind and it entails that, but there's also the other problem, of course, Speed Boost, right? So we're going to be expecting to see switch up a lot of moves here. We might see a Helping Hand come into play, but that's the other problem with this setup right now, that this is a double protect turn. There's going to be a Speed Boost +1, but like, what is Blaziken running that could be very different or could help with this entire matchup currently in his face, right? Maybe he has like a Thunder Punch somewhere? I don't recall if Blaziken has Thunder Punch. But like, I'm expecting to see a Flare Blitz, maybe a Close Combat, maybe a Brave Bird, and then a Protect that we see. So like,
well, I can tell you because we've got you were right in 2 of the moves: Flare Blitz, Close Combat. We've also got Rock Slide. So Speed Boost going to be active on that Blaziken as well. We've got the Moonblast, Encore, Tailwind, and Protect from that Whimsicott as well. So Earthquake already been used by the Garchomp. We can see no chip damage as well, but that is so we don't know if it is a Roselli Berry. So I believe that is for the Fairy type. So Roselli Berry Garchomp can actually tank a Moonblast here if they're able to proc that berry. We could see a Protect right now, but the last thing you want to do is Protect in front of an Encore and Whimsicott here,
Right, that's one thing as well, but at the same time, I really feel it's going to be a Helping Hand into the Rock Slide here. It just makes the most sense than like firing off a Moonblast. And sure, of course, it's Dragon type on the field, but it just feels so much better. But it looks like we're not seeing that, so it's going to be a double up into it with a crit as well to finish it off.
The crit, along with the rough skin damage, a Moonblast is going to go into the Garchomp side. It's going to chop on that berry, Nitera, but I don't think that's going to be enough due to that crit. And that is going to be the first KO. The KO opener is going to be taken by Blaze. However, on this side as well, now that we've had the Charizard protected, it is now a threat of Encore, being Encored into Protect. Speed Boost is going to happen. However, the defense and special defense have dropped on this Blaziken. Basculegion, one of the fastest Pokemon in the format as well. It is running Life Orb as well. So I do believe currently Blaziken has the speed advantage. I mean, you might need to swap out. No swap out on the Charizard, but swap out on the Whimsicott instead.
Right. And it brings into favor this beautiful Pokemon for grab that just stops you from all your priority moves. So Aqua Jet locked out here, and it's also in the sun as well, so this is not going to be very strong. A nice Rock Slide comes in here. Charizard is going to be looking to see get out of that, and he does. No flinch today. A beautiful Heat Wave, and look at the damage, Lobo. Look at it. And the burn.
The burn is rough, but that was not only was that a resisted hit on the Heat Wave because fire. However, it was due to the special defense and defense drop off Close Combat. That is going to be a forfeit straight away from Snowy. He's going to drop that white flag straight away. I think that was a very good turn coming out from Blaze. I think seeing the Armor Tail come out from the Farigiraf also very I want to say demoralizing because you're not even able to get a turn off. The crit as well onto the Garchomp. So I think Snowy kind of just was like, this ain't my game. I'm just gonna call it here and go to game 2.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair here, I mean, one thing why you actually, I feel like, you know, it's good to forfeit early. And then is because you have 6 Pokemon. Yes, it's team sheet open, but you don't know what 4 Pokemon you're bringing here, so you don't really get a good idea of what your opponent's kind of formulating in his head, like what was the idea that he's looking at. And sometimes you can tell what and how they think, right? For example, if you run something like a hyper-aggressive, like, you know, a speed control team, you're gonna be seeing like a Whimsicott with another Pokemon to set up Tailwind, and then you kind of sweep from there. But if you don't see that Whimsicott out, and you don't even know if it's at the back here, you know, you don't really know how your opponent's really thinking, right? So you don't know how to anticipate that. And Snowy, man, made a really strong call here just to not, you know, show his last Pokemon.
Yeah, I think it was a good call because They had the Charizard under threat of Encore. They decided to go for the move anyway. They just and risk kind of Snowy trying to read Blaze into predicting that Whimsicott would Encore, but the swap out didn't allow it to get any damage off. Even in the sun, Blaziken was still, their defenses were boosted. So if Aqua Jet had gone off, they probably would have actually managed to get a KO on the Blaziken. But now it's going to be Basculegion versus Basculegion. Protect on Basculegion. I thought we might see a Snarl or a Dark Pulse go into that Basculegion slot. That is exactly what we were going to see. Nice predict on the Protect on this life from the Basculegion. But it is going to be a Moonblast that is going to Oko and take out that Hydreigon.
Ooh, you can see it here. It's a little bit rough spot. You've lost another one Pokemon here while your opponent has actually everything up. No information given for the most part. And now the mirror.
Yeah, it's a mirror match right now, but again, Whimsicott threatening Encore on the opposing, onto Snowy's Basculegion. Blaze has both full health here. We could see Tailwinds from both Whimsicotts, but with the threat of Encore into the Protect on the Basculegion, Snowy makes the smart decision not to do that, as Garchomp does take the field as well.
There's the Tailwind. There's the call out. Garchomp's going to be flying off potentially with a giant rock slide here. On-call period, and of course fails with no one else to do it. Last Head coming in here, and ooh, the Sash might call it out here for him. There it is.
I mean, it's a big hit. The Life Orb gonna take some chip from the Basculegion right now. Currently, Snowy has speed control. We could see a Protect on the side of Blaze as well. It does. It is carrying Protect, Wave Crash, Last Respect, Aqua Jet, and Protect. We could see a counter Tailwind from the opposing Whimsicott as well. It does have speed control, so it's going to go first. Whimsicott's just going to take, wow, a lot more than 50% damage. Poison Jab. They don't want to see this Whimsicott. Snowy wasn't happy with how game one went. They're going to maintain that speed control for game number 2.
And there it is. There's it going down. Last Respect pops in here. Mind you, at this point, there is a lot of damage flying through. That is that a little bit more with the Life Orb as well. So they're going in very much happily with how this turned out.
There's a lot of offensive pressure on Blaze's side, even though they've lost 2 Pokemon. Snowy only losing 1. So now we still got speed control coming out from the side of Snowy. They can fire off a Last Respects of their own. Blaziken probably going to Protect here. Again, if you get one hit off on this Whimsicott, you lose the Encore pressure. So does Blaze take the opportunity to try and KO with possibly an Aqua Jet onto the Whimsicott? There is going to be the pop of the Mega, a Protect coming out from the Blaziken, kind of standard to ensure, or a Detect to ensure that that speed boost gets active.
Right. I mean, it's always better to do like go for Protect here with Blaziken. You always want to get the +1 speed at the very least here. But that means also if there is an Aqua Jet coming in, that's Last Respect is going to be locked in because of the Encore here. It's still going into potentially the Basculegion on its own. And it's got a KO as well. The faster Basculegion wins, I guess.
I mean, that was a very smart play by the Whimsicott. Encore's still a threat, even if it's a Protect or a setup move or whatever. I mean, it locks them out of that priority. So now it is a 1v3, and this time Blaze decides to throw up the white flag. So very hyper offensive game from both sides. A few really nice reads in game 1 and 2, Nitera, with the Armor Tail Farigiraf coming in game 1, and then the Encore into the Last Respects on the Basculegion, who probably wanted to go for an Aqua Jet onto that Whimsicott initially. So 1-1. We haven't seen all 4 Pokemon faint just yet, but I'm excited to see how this round 3 game plays out. Both of these players undefeated so far in this tournament. They've gone 0-2 in their first 2 rounds. So, I mean, they're sitting at the top of the rankings right now.
Right. I mean, one of them is not going to be sitting at the top of the rankings. You know, we're going to have a determined winner for quite a while if this one goes through. But there is a Mega Flow at the back here, right? Blaze has a great opportunity to turn this around with one of the strongest Megas in play right now, but Snowy as well. This team lineup is not something we scoffed at here. I feel like the Basculegion should be safe for the very end.
Yeah, I agree with you, but they're going to lead the Whimsicott Hydreigon once again. Whimsicott into the Garchomp as well is going to come through. So now Whimsicott Mirror, Are they both going to go Tailwind? Are they going to risk the Protects? We do have a Choice Scarf High Dragon right now, so the faster Tailwind. I mean, even if both Whimsicots decide to Tailwind right now, the drop of Draco right onto that Garchomp is going to hurt quite a lot. And seeing the threat of that, they just decided to retreat the Garchomp to make sure that they can maintain that really, really pivotal Pokemon for the later stages of the game. I'm getting better at this, Nitera. I'm getting better at this.
Yeah, you're getting there. You're getting there. It just takes a little bit of time going into it. Hydreigon now in 2 stages down here. He's trying to look for an opportunity to turn this around. The Moonblast comes in, and there's the quad damage coming in, leaving him with just 1 Whimsicott on the field right now, just meant for itself. But we're in an interesting position right now. This position of the enemy is going to be Snowy in that position, but with the Floette out now, it looks like this Mega Floette might be coming out just a little bit to dish out some massive light of room.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what this Mega Floette does decide to go. It's not running, I believe, it's not running Carmine, so it's not a setup Floette. Again, that Fairy Aura is going to boost Moonblast from both sides of these Whimsicots. Tailwind's still up on Blaze's side. However, priority is available for this Basculegion. Mega Floette is going to outspeed, I believe, Snowy's Basculegion, so we could see just a Dazzling Gleam into both slots because that Fairy Aura is going to do a lot of damage.
Right. As he sends it around here, we're going to see if he can finish it off. Mega Floette is trying to look with the Fairy Aura, so he's going to get a little bit of extra damage. Calls to Protect. We are maybe seeing a Gleam here just to give a nice spread here. Who knows? Encore is being caught. Now Whimsicott is locked in place.
I think that's really, really smart play because you remove the idea of the Encore from the side of Snowy. Now he's just going to have to, I do believe it's going to be Moonblasting every time. Big damage onto the Whimsicott as well. And so now Moonblast is going to go onto the opposing side Floette. They're just going to shrug that one off. Not too much damage, but enough chip damage to put it in a range where it doesn't want to be. So possibly a retreat on the cards here, but what do you bring into this? I mean, Garchomp is not going to want to take a Fairy or a boosted Fairy attack from this Eternal Flower Floette. And there's an Encore once again into the Protect for the Basculegion.
And I think it's pretty much over at this point. There's not really much you can do to try and sway the game into your favor. This Mega Floette is going to burn this Dazzling Gleam, take a double, and now we're set out back to square one.
I mean, set up back to square one. We've got 2 down. Basculegion not going to be able to regenerate or gain any boosted power from that last respects. We're going to see the final Pokemon that Snowy has brought. One of them is going to be a Garchomp, and one of them is going to be that Charizard. I believe we are about 1 turn away from Tailwind being heated out, so this will be the last turn of Tailwind. However, no chance for a Protect because you cannot Protect in front of a Whimsicott. It's going to be a big deal, but remember, Nitera, this Garchomp is holding Poison Jab, so it could be a very interesting way to get rid of it. It's also got the Roselli Berry to try and live a hit from these boosted Fairy types.
Right, there's the Moonblast coming in. Roselli Berry lock.
The fact that Whimsicott moved first, yeah, look, Garchomp is only going to take just above half damage from that. The special attack for not that bad. Coming up from the Garchomp, there's a physical attacker. Dazzling Gleam going to do a lot. I feel like Garchomp is going to say bye-bye.
There it is.
And there it goes. Even, again, it's that last turn of Tailwind that was really, really impactful in that turn.
I mean, I want to note something, you know, as we were taking a look into that to see how the interactions go about, is that Whimsicott is still the fastest mon, followed up by Mega Floette. Which means if you roughly know Whimsicott's speed, which is about 180 after everything, I mean, it's going to be quite tough for it. And they've lost Tailwind as well, which means even if they want to sack the Whimsicott here, it's really easy. Just touch Tailwind, press Protect, and call it a day. Right, you're lead with 1 Pokemon. You know, even if they try to do anything funny here, it looks like it's only 1 Charizard left, who right now has protected himself.
Yeah, double Protect is interesting here. I think they may be trying to stall out the turn of Sun. Sun has been active for about 2 turns right now, so 3 more turns left to go. Now a Heat Wave. I believe Charizard is the fastest Pokemon on the field, but a Prankster Tailwind from the Whimsicott could change that very, very quickly. It's just if it's able to live. I mean, this Floette could go for like a Ruin. It could go for Moonblast. Doesn't need to spread damage. It's going to take a full force Moonblast. But I mean, Charizard just shrugs that one off that turn.
I mean, what do you expect from one of the beasts of
Solar Beam?
Mega Evolution? Yes, Solar Beam coming in through.
Solar Beam is an interesting shout here into the Mega Floette. Perhaps not risking the Heat Wave miss instead, and just trying to guarantee that KO. Charizard's still at half health, and now we've got a Basculegion to come in. This is in the sun as well, so a Wave Crash.
Right.
I think it's not going to tickle. So Charizard going to see how we go here. Tailwind's still up. Whimsicott and Basculegion will move first.
Okay, there's the pickup. There's the swing. Not very effective, but it's still one left, right?
And the special attack.
The cherry on top.
The cherry on top, a crit plus the special attack drop. That Wave Crash is going to finish this one out. Blaze is going to be the only one of the members to continue their undefeated streak as we head towards round 4. Congratulations to them. A really nice offensive back and forth between both of these players here in that round.
Right, and it's going to be really tight going into the next few matches because it's Swiss, right? And how Swiss calculates is that you kind of still see the top players and the top players face each other like normal seeding. So it's going to be more and more challenging each time if we keep looking at the ones at the top of the leaderboards, which will give you so much insight to the tournament, and I cannot wait to show it to you.
Yeah, look, I really liked Blaze's kind of turnabout there. I mean, they won a match with Blaziken, they lost a match with Blaziken, they kind of put up an instant surrender in game number 1, but then bringing out the Mega Floette in game number 3 to surprise Snowy, who I think was a really, really smart play, which just shows how strong Mega Floette is right now in the meta, and it's such a good check to Garchomp. So we're going to see, interesting to see how these players go into the next matches, but we got round 4 for you guys coming up. We're waiting for the rest of round 3 to finish up. They're going to take another break as well and bring you some more Pokemon Champions action at the Rework Esports Champions Talent Cup number 2. So don't go anywhere. Grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack. We will be right back. Hello, welcome back, everybody. We got Ordinary, a JTA, a 117 versus Barther on this one. We're going to come quickly back into this. We can see Incineroar been taken out already. It is Mega Floette versus Mega Metagross. We're going to continue this round number 2, I believe. Sorry, game number 2. Tailwind been set up. Encore's going to fail. Dazzling Gleam are going to come through. But Metagross is going to protect themselves. Whimsicott is going to be taken down. So KO for KO. 1 Pokemon down for each player that turn.
Great start off with the trade here. I mean, okay, I guess it's a delayed trade, but at the same time, you are looking at a Mega Metagross that is not going to be supported now, who kind of just needs to play off the fact that he has fast Pokemon. This is a very hyper-aggressive team, right? And I would say it's a little slower for the side of ordinary JTA. So it is very favored right now for Barto to kind of sweep this one over with the speed that he has. But this Mega Float will not go down so easily here, not unless you throw in a few metal punches here to his face.
Yeah, look, it does have Iron Head, no priority Bullet Punch for the Metagross as well, and we do have Earthquake on the side of this Garchomp alongside Rock Slide as well. However, Earthquake, you risk taking out your own Mega Metagross, which you don't really want to do. Garchomp is going to protect turn 1, probably just predicting that Fairy move going into it. Going to try and take out this Floette. Sucker Punch going to come through before the Iron Head can even go off, and Mega Metagross is going to say bye-bye this time round. Ordinary has taken control of this one with 2 KOs versus only 1 going down. I mean, this is just the strength of Kingambit with that Sucker Punch.
Right. It's amazing. But now we have a big problem. A monkey business, as you will here, has a little bit of an angry fist to kind of punch around. It is going to be Annihilate, holding on the fort here, but right now it comes down to whether can we finish off first the King Campit into it, because there is a giant fairy problem going into this Garchomp, and I'm not really liking the looks of it for the side of Barto.
Yeah, it is Ruffle. It is Life Orb on the side of that Garchomp, so no Roselli Belly to really dampen the damage coming from that Mega Blow. Probably going to see a Dazzling Gleam just for a spread move. Shout, Kingambit's going to come back, doesn't want to risk a Drain Punch, but Annihilate could get off a Bulk Up as well. Earthquake going to come through. It's going to damage its own Annihilate to try and I don't even know what the point is of attacking your own Annihilate. Drain Punch maybe to try and get some of that HP back, but Rage Fist instead is going to come out on to the Mega Float, and that is going to be a nice big KO.
Boy, you love to see it happen, which right now means they're in a great position. Yes, we did see a swap here. I'm not even sure why you really wanted to swap at that point here. Protecting it is kind of interesting considering you were already being threatened with a one-hit KO on your Mega Pokemon as well. And so I think it's just a little bit of a weird spot for him, you know, moving into it. But look at this now. A Rage Fist into Sinistcha, a Earthquake flies into Kingambit. That's what I'm kind of looking at.
I mean, it's an interesting thing now that because the way Rage Fist works, it increases in power by 50 every single time that this Annihilate is hit. So hitting it with that Earthquake really did ensure that that Mega Float was going to go down. However, possibly, I mean, Annihilate took 40% of their health. They're going to be down to 20 if they're going to take another Earthquake. However, they could just opt for the Drain Punch, the range power. Nope, Protect coming up from the Kingambit. And let's see what happens. Rage Fist is going to go straight into the sky. I think a nice call there by Bartho. Yeah, it's a nice call by Bartho.
Right, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, right, it's going to be a very easy trade for the Sinistcha here. But this sets up the trick room, which means our Swordsmaster Kingambit is going to be a little bit faster into the bracket. I do believe he is the fastest right now based on speed and trick room. So the question is, like, in your limited moveset here, what are you gonna choose to swing at Garchomp of all people, right? Because I think you're not gonna take Annihilate out with your moveset. I think it's just so much better that you just kind of choose to choke and scream at the Garchomp. But you have Sinistcha as well, who's doing pretty well. So let's see what the answer is here.
Sinistcha with the Matcha Gacha here could do a lot of damage to that Garchomp, as well as go for the burn on either of these Pokemon. Iron Head is going to be the move of choice because they're going to move forward. That's going to take half of the damage down on that Garchomp. It is going to take recall from that rough skin. Is this a Matcha Gacha? It is going to be the Matcha Gacha.
There it is.
Which is going to do super effective damage to the Garchomp, but it's not going to be enough. And there's the burn, Nitera. That Garchomp damage is going to be hard.
We called it. You were right? There might be a burn. We called it.
It had to be. I mean, it had to be a burn. A Drain Punch is going to go through. Chopper Berry is going to allow this to live, but I don't know if Kingambit lives that, especially at that level. But now it's just going to be Sinistcha versus this Annihilate, because if it gets off another Matcha Gacha. There goes the Garchomp, but Garchomp does have access to Protect. There is no Shadow Ball on this Sinistcha, so it's only going to be Matcha Gacha to take down the Annihilate, and we saw how much damage that Rage Fist does to this Sinistcha.
Okay, last Pokemon on the field here. I think it's safe to say we all know how it's going to end up here, but you know, what a sport here. Calling out the Matcha Gacha to see if you can at least take out one more. There's the uptick. There is one more Pokemon there, and I do believe this Rage Fist is already powered up to as high as it can go. So, well, Sinistcha, I hope you're ready.
Yeah, Rage Fist, I think it took 2 Matcha Gachas. It took an Earthquake as well, so it increased its power by 150 as well. Ridiculous amounts of damage coming out from that Rage Fist. So Bartho has taken game number 2. We're going to go to our game 3 situation, which, I mean, we've had the pleasure of watching a lot of game 3s at the moment, Nightara, so it's quite a bit of fun. But I guess whilst we're waiting for the next game, we'll take you guys through the team sheets for these two teams, these two players. You got Mega Charizard Y, Mega Metagross. You got Mousehold, Garchomp, Annihilate, and Whimsicott. So it was Garchomp and Annihilate. It was Mousehold and Charizard in the back for Bartho. Pretty standard what we've seen across all of those teams. No Pop Bomb on the Mousehold. It is Super Fang and Beat Up instead to possibly power up that Rage Fist. On that Annihilate, it is also running Defiant as well. So, I mean, nice. I actually really do like this team. It does synergize quite well alongside the Whimsicott that does give it speed control. And on the side of Ordinary, we've got Focus Sash Sneasler that's running Poison Touch and not Unburden. It is running Coaching as well. Mega Flower, Eternal Flower Flower in its Mega Form, Incineroar, Sinistcha, King Gambit, and Garchomp for the side of Ordinary. So that's, I mean, what do you make of both of these two teams so far, based on the team sheets? Nightara. What do you make of both of these teams?
I'm still thinking about it. As
okay.
Going through it.
I mean, the Poison Touch Coaching. All right. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, as I'm really thinking about it, right? At the end of the day, it really comes down and it boils down to just one thing, which is burn, right? Because you have Matcha Gacha, like status burn. You have the Sneasler with the Dire Claw, potentially getting you a burn at 30% chance on a roulette as well. You know, I really feel like, I mean, Ordinary GTA has a little bit of an interesting way to go into it here, while Bartho is just in this weird position of having to play catch up. Right, starting strong here to intimidate into the Metagross here, who has clear body, so he's pretty safe. But it's going to go against Floette here, and firepower wise, I think this Floette is packing.
Yeah, the Floette's packing, however, it does succumb to the pressure of this Mega Metagross with those Steel type moves. Again, not running Bullet Punch, so it doesn't get priority. It does have Iron Head as well, so no Intimidate is going to drop it due to that clear body like we saw. Maybe this Mega Floette does swap out because you've got the fake out pressure for Incineroar to stop the Tailwind coming up early. Or, I mean, this Metagross also has Body Press to really pressure that Incineroar as well for super effective damage due to being a Dark type. So, going to be very interesting to see how they go. I can kind of predict the Floette swapping out here or going for a Protect, and the Mega will probably be committed by the Mega Metagross.
I think the Mega Rose is actually going to swap out. Well, I guess I didn't get the swap from that side either. We do see a Mega coming in here, and I think we might see a Mega Rose as well, because, you know, he didn't swap out, so clearly they must be doing something else. That's the call out to the Fire Aura ability here. And, right, okay, Lobo, you know, that's where our streak ends. You did call it right.
Yeah. Hey, I called the Mega. I said it was going to swap out or Protect. So we can see what goes on here, because maybe a Flare Blitz into the Metagross is going to be enough. No, they're going to fake out into the Metagross instead. They're going to allow the Whimsicott to get up the Moonblast. Actually, it's going to be boosted by that. It's going to be boosted by that Fairy Aura. And let's see, a Dazzling Gleam is going to come out from the Metagross as well. Resisted hit. Whimsicott's going to take a lot of damage. Interesting turn one. I think our predictions, well, my predictions were wrong, honestly, in that entire turn.
Well, I mean, it's kind of an interesting thing to say at least here. Because no matter what, I don't even think you need a Bullet Punch to go into full red. You kind of just want to get a Tailwind into maybe a Meteor Mash, for example. A nice big hit. Right? I think that's just so much better. Yes, it's on a 90% accuracy, for example. Or, sorry, Iron Hit in this case, right? Because Metagross has access to the better steel type move. So Iron Head going into this, I'm pretty sure it's a KO here with the stab and the tough claws multipliers. You know, Floyd's not gonna be happy about this. I would say I see a switch here potentially, but at the same time, there's also Protect that we can look forward to.
I mean, yeah, you're 100% right. We could see the Matcha Gacha going to come through. Hospitality, the Protect coming through from the Metagross, kind of try and reset that Intimidate. I mean, Ordinary is being very aggressive with this Mega Float, which I love to see. Probably just going to go for a Dazzling Gleam. Again, going to hit the shield of the Metagross, but it is probably going to take out that Whimsicott. So speed control on the side of Bartha. However, I mean, I do believe the Sinister is running Trick Room, so we could get a twisting of the dimension and give that speed control right back to Ordinary.
Well, remember, it's going to be one round in, one Pokemon out, and at this point, we can see how this plays out here. Losing Whimsicott is not the worst thing in the world. They are playing on a 4-turn timer because, I mean, you still have the Tailwind for 4 turns, right? So Gotcha coming in here, give him so much accessibility to damage right now. It's going to be interesting. You have Dragon Claw, who can swing into Sinistcha here for massive damage. Rock Slide maybe if you want to see if you can get a flinch off, and then maybe if you get a flinch, it's going to be an Iron Hit into the forward, you know? So options are plentiful here. Rage Powder is available, but I think we're in a great position. There's the call out here. He knows he doesn't want to take a risk on the flinch, but he gets onto a double Intimidate, and this is a beautiful moment.
I think that's massive. I think that's exactly what they wanted to do. Of course, bringing in the Garchomp, it kind of, you lose the, I mean, you're kind of being baited. You're being baited into attacking the Garchomp, but there's the Trick Room. So now speed control is back on the side of Ordinary until that Tailwind is over. I mean, Bartha does have the faster team, as it looks like it anyway, so Trick Room would have given him speed control as well. No Unburden, like again, no Unburden Sneasler, so perhaps that Sneasler does work quite well under Trick Room. Now, Gacha protected previous turn, so he is susceptible to a Matcha Gacha. Both Pokemon have been intimidated. Could we see a swap out of either Pokemon to not risk either the burn or the Flare Blitz coming in from the Incineroar?
Right, and I guess we're gonna see how this pans out here because, I mean, with Incineroar coming into play, I feel like a party shot would be really nice here. Maybe even a helping hand into the Matcha Gacha would be fantastic here. But of course, the current situation just does not allow for the side of Barto to really stick to the field. He's chosen the Towel here with Metagross and says, I'm going to send Annihilate out, which is great, right? Because he anticipates a Flare Blitz coming in here, which right now, after the damage, he's still packing a punch, and we're going to be seeing the speed control from them as well, don't forget.
I mean, that's a double hit into the Annihilate, who's just going to power up that Rage Fist by about 100 points. Right now, it gets 50 points for every single time it gets hit. So right now, again, we could see what comes through. The Annihilate is dangerously low. Even if they decide to go for a Drain Punch on to the Incineroar, it's not going to heal up that much. So this Annihilate was Bartha's turnaround in that previous game. Garchomp didn't take too much from the Matcha Gacha, but no burns either side. Ordinary's in a good spot here. They still have the Metagross in the back as well. So, and we still haven't seen the 4th Pokemon come out from Ordinary. So nice turns. I feel like a Protect coming from the Garchomp. Helping Hand into the Matcha Gacha?
I told you, there's a chance that we might see a Helping Hand instead, just to get the Matcha Gacha to deal a bit more damage to clean it up here. I mean, we know that it's a special attacker. We know it's obviously stronger than like whatever else is on the field at the moment. So, I mean, to support Matcha Gacha agenda is technically pretty good. Sinistcha is looking favorable in this as they move into it. Even with the Earthquake coming in, I don't think he's taking that much damage.
No, after all, this Garchomp is intimidated. However, that is probably going to be enough to take down the Incineroar. So now they have lost the Intimidate pressure. They've lost the Fake Out pressure due to the Fire Kitty saying bye-bye. I'm curious how many more turns of Trick Room we've got left, or Tailwind. I think it's either 1 turn or
3 or 4, I think.
Yeah, the Tailwind's going to peter out. Yeah, Tailwind's going to peter out, but Trick Room is still up.
I was like...
King Gambit is not a bad shout here right now. I mean, the Sucker Punch pressures both Garchomp and Annihilate, as so does Matcha Gacha as well.
Right, and so it's gonna come down to the wire here. We do have a priority in Sucker Punch here if they want to try and take down the Ape, but I don't think that's enough to stop the Garchomp if it goes in for a massive Earthquake. So it really is going to be a tough call across the board here. But again, I think they're in a great position at the moment.
Yeah, I do agree. I do agree. It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. Whether they decide to be a little bit more defensive on the side of Bartho, or they decide to go
Right.
full offensive, because that Rage Fist is ready to go. It's locked, loaded. All they have to do is unleash it, but they have to wait for the Trick Room to be over. Kowtow Cleave is going to go to the Annihilate. Doesn't matter about the Rage Fist. It is going to be taken down. And if this match of Gacha is about to come through, this Garchomp is going to be taken down. And Ordinary has taken a very, very good step into securing this round 4 matchup.
Ooh, boy. There's the loss here. That's the declaration. I mean, it was a really, really, really rough for Bartho here. Moving into that, Ordinary picks himself up, and there it is, the round 3 cleanup crew.
Yeah, what a great round 3 that we have. I mean, we're still just waiting for a few other matches to be done. We're going to go straight into round 4. But, I mean, how do you feel about seeing Annihilate so far? A Pokemon that was so, I mean, quite strong in the Scarlet and Violet format. I mean, if you take the legendaries out of it, I mean, I do like the Mousehold beat up kind of strategy into that Annihilate, powered up straight away. The speed control being reversed with Trick Room was quite nice. Give me your overall thoughts on that match.
I mean, it's a little bit like a justified set for Lucario, where you kind of hit
Mm-hmm.
him to get extra damage here, but it's built into the move itself, right? Reach Fist. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I would dare say, like, there is probably a way you can reduce the beat up damage if you were to go that route to just kind of pump the Annihilate's damage as well. Because then, if
Mm-hmm.
once you have speed control and whatnot, so there are a lot of things you can consider in terms of the build up to the set. But overall, I'm really liking the idea that they're going with here. I struggle with ghost types a lot, so I
Mm-hmm.
do believe that having a ghost on our team is very relevant, and they've kind of
Mm.
make sure that they've incorporated something like that, Lobo. That's an important thing in the
Mm.
entire tournament. They are actually looking for their weakness, their coverages, and how they can play it out.
I mean, ghost type Pokemon are a big problem, especially with your Sinistras running around, with your Basculegions running around. I mean, I always enjoy a fake out Scrappy Kangaskhan with the Silk Scarf. It does quite a lot of damage, but
It does.
we're gonna take
It
ourselves
really does.
we're gonna take ourselves a quick break. We're gonna bring you guys around 4. Don't go anywhere. Nitera and I will be right back with some more Rework Esports Champions Talent Cup action numero dos. See you guys very shortly. Welcome back, everybody. This is going to be our final round of the stream. We got Stone Storm VGC taking on Kaike as well. This is going to be a very fun one. Now, these are two teams that we haven't seen yet, Nightera. It's Mega Pyro on one side, and it is Mega Gardevoir on the other. So, Rain versus Sun. Going to be really interesting to see this one. Whimsicott is carrying Sunny Day. Of course, Choice Scarf Ninetales has access to Drought as its ability. We've also got an Eternal Flower Floette coming to play as well. Don't know if they want to bring the Floette just yet, because that's going to power up that Mega Gardevoir on the other side.
Ooh, I mean, it's a raid team, right? I'm trying to kind of formulate something here. When it comes to raid teams, it's a very interesting slope where, like, you know, you kind of want to play fast and aggressive here. But when we have something like Gardevoir, you could potentially see an angle where it's like, maybe there's a trick room set up with Mr. Machagacha, the Sinister, and then they might go in with very aggressive, like, Psychic type moves into Fairy moves with Gardevoir. It could be that angle as well here. But look at this trace here, a phenomenal trace onto that Armor Tail.
Yeah, phenomenal Trace as well. Trace is random, as I figured out in another Pokemon Champion stream. Gardevoir has a chance of tracing either ability on either side. However, I mean, that Armor Tail is great. Not too much fake out pressure being shown right now on the side of Kaike. However, it does stop Incineroar's fake out pressure, but it does put that Farigiraf in a lot of danger, because it's got access to Throat Chop, which can stop the Hyper Voice, which is a Dark type move. It does do a lot of damage to that Farigiraf, but we could also see the Mega come out from the Pyro as well. Possibly, I mean, under Sun, Pyro does a lot of damage. The ability of Mega Pyro is it does increase Fire type damage that is done under certain conditions. So it is a big Pokemon. It has been considered Mega Charizard Y Light adjacent, but its ability, what's the word I'm looking for? It's possibility to do a lot of damage. That's not the word I'm looking for, but I mean, we're gonna get potential. It's potential. It was another P word. Thank you, production. I love you very much for catching my mistakes.
Well, let's see if the potential's there, right? Yeah, he goes in for hopefully some big damage. No, it's shy off the quarter mark. Just shy a little bit off the quarter mark. But with the parting shot there, it's gonna make it a little bit different for Pyro to kind of sit back here and enjoy it. Which, mind you, there's no Drought here, so it's just a standard boosted. Well, I guess it's technically Sun boosted to an extent here, but it's just a very standard stat bonus here, going into potentially Sinistcha. So this will be interesting. Let's see how they want to play this, because I think, wow, those names for their Pokemon are they are something. They are.
I mean, we always have to talk about Pokemon Unite names whenever we cast, but now we get to choose Pokemon names. So it's an interesting spot to be in right now. Trick Room, I mean, could come out from the Sinister. It is carrying that Trick Room alongside that Sinister. It is going to swap out again for the Incineroar to double up on that Intimidate and actually just make sure that this Pyroar has to swap out. The Helping Hand is going to come through into what I assume is going to be a Heat Wave. Again, after having one special attack drop, that is still not a lot of damage. Kaike really needs to reset the stats on that Pyro.
I mean, 100%, right? That's a carry, and you're not gonna save it. I think you don't deserve to win. I'll be honest with you on that, because you kind of need to let your strongest Pokemon lead into the charge here, especially when you have priority like Protection with Armor Tail. And right now, it's kind of going to waste, because if Pyro wants to press some buttons, it's gonna be a weaker each time, you know, it gets lowered. So let's kind of focus on how we can fix something like that, for example.
Yeah, look, now that's a Calm Mind boosted Mega Gardevoir sitting on the map. That Mega Gardevoir does lose access to the Trace ability, so it no longer has Armor Tail once it evolves. It does get access to Pixelate, which I believe is Mega Gardevoir's ability. Yes. So this Hyper Voice is going to hurt like a truck.
Now, of course, let's just see how this one goes around. How they figure it out here. Drought is being set up here, which means now this hit rate should hit a little bit better, and well, you know, it does do quite a good chunk here.
It's still a special attack dropped Pyro. In the Heat is going to increase that firepower. Its ability is going to increase that firepower even more. Throat Chop going to go into that Ninetales. This is a Choice Scarf Ninetales as well, so it is going to be one of the fastest Pokemon on the field. I mean, we could just get a double overheat. We could get a double Heat Wave coming in right now, but again, a resisted Pyro, a resisted heat onto that Incineroar. It's still possibly going to take it out, but a double heat wave is going to be a problem. So I predict a protect from this Gardevoir and possibly another parting shot from this Incineroar.
Okay, now the question is, can they keep up the pace here? Yes, they've done damage, but is it enough to really clean up the house? That's what I'm trying to check here. They provide Incineroar here, arguably they're only into the center, and they bring in Pelipper to set up the raid.
A smart play. I mean, Pelipper's going to take not a lot of damage to this. Fake Tears is going to come out from the Ninetales to drop the special defense of that Gardevoir to try and go down to that Heat Wave. It was a smart play, but to predict that the Heat Wave was not going to come through, Pelipper's going to get tickled by that. Only 13% damage. I think right now, Kaike probably needs to reset because you really just don't want this Pelipper to be able to do what it can do. I mean, it's got 100% accurate Hurricane in the Sun. It's got Weather Ball, it's got Tailwind, and it's got Wide Guard. So it can now protect against all of these. Yeah, you need to now protect against this. And again, so far, Kaike has just Heat Wave the entire time. So a Wide Guard coming out here from that Pelipper kind of just seems very, very obvious into the Hyper.
Right. Now, of course, let's see if this actually comes to fruition here. Saying that how Hyper Voice hits the spread will kind of deal here. We might be able to chip them out slow but steady as they do so with the few extra turns of they fought themselves for, especially with like things like Citrus Berry to give them a little bit of life back into that, keeping them healthy. This is a great opportunity for them to see if they can swing the tide here. But again, Pyro is fighting in the rain, so it's a little bit hard.
Right now, I'm very surprised by Kaike's kind of stubbornness to keep this Pyro in, even though with the special attack drop and now in the rain. If he doesn't swap out right now to try and reset the Sun, they could even swap into their Basculegion as well that does get boosted in the rain. That Basculegion is a Life Orb Basculegion as well. So, I mean, now that the Tailwind is up, the Farigiraf is also running Trick Room and Thunderbolt. So it could do a lot of damage to this Pelipper. However, it needs to survive a Hyper Voice from this Gardevoir as well as a double up. So we could see Trick Room, but we are going to see the Sun come out. So perhaps not 100% accurate Hurricane, but it does not matter because that Hyper Voice gets 2 KOs for Stone Storm.
A great start moving into this here. They lost the Armor Tail, which is very core for them moving into it here. But if we turn this around, it just means he has 2 safe switches here, Lobo. You know, think of the positives here. You might have to deal with technically 4 Pokemon, but we know what they are here. There's no fake out pressure coming from that here unless the helmet, but otherwise we're in a great position here. Mega Pyro wants to also try to see if he can dish the damage out. He swings a big Heat Wave here, potentially he can sweep out the Gardevoir. Now that's what I'm hoping to see here, especially now that it has everything lined up and ready to go.
Yeah, I agree with you. However, that Pelipper is still pressuring with the Wide Guard. You can swap in the Sinister as well to absorb that Heat Wave and then give that Hospitality boost to the Gardevoir. You also have the Incineroar here who's going to cripple this Basculegion due to the Intimidate and also crippled due to the Sun. The Protect going to come through, and I think this Incineroar is just going to eat whatever move is going to come in. But unfortunately, I mean, they still have the Pelipper in the back. So this is a very, very good position for Stone Storm. They've swapped well. They've calculated switch-ins. It's just Kaike just hasn't been able to get the damage off.
They kind of just need to look for an opportunity to kind of squeeze in a bit more damage here, which in this case, I think it's looking really good for themselves. They just kind of need to find an angle that really works for them here. Because Incineroar is very happy to be here. They just keep like, tossing Intimidates here. But I think they kind of run out of targets to hit because this Pyro, I mean, of course, hasn't really done much to, bring himself back to full power, but
yeah,
he's still rocking the stat. He's still rocking, his innate ability, and I think it's just a weird spot where like this Gardevoir kind of wants to dish the damage, but he's like, I really need to find a way to protect myself.
Yeah, look, they're gonna go for the Protect one more time into this one to try and stall out the turns of Trick Rooms, so double Protect coming through from both members here. Fake Out also going to be protected into the Pyro. Hyper Voice is not going to hit. So I don't think Tailwind is out just yet, Nightera. I think it still has one more turn left. So, oh no, I am wrong. Tailwind's going to peter out there. So now the speed control is back on the side of Kaike. So Heat Wave right now, a Wave Crash could be very pivotal in turning this game around. However, I say that knowing full well that there's a Pelipper that can reset the sun reset the weather very quickly.
Okay, they're kind of sitting for opportunity here. They're weighing their options. We're running down this timer. Mind you, they only have like 2 minutes on this clock here. They can't really waste too much time. Even if they run down a timer, at some point it's gonna end here. They have locked in their moves. Let's see what they want to go for here. It is going to be calling a protect into this here, and hopefully maybe, just maybe, they see Incineroar go down so they can shoot something that actually gives a little bit more oomph in terms of like, firepower. Because right now it's really looking into their favor, and they just need to hold on to the ground here. And once again, Stone just casually says, "Alright, you take my Incineroar, I'll just drop you one more," right? So the question is, of course, Kaike really finishes up here. He's got a long road ahead, not just for this match, but of course just for the games in general.
Funny enough, Stonestorm decided not to reset the sun and change it over to the rain. The hospitality is going to heal that Gardevoir right back up. However, this last respect is going to hit like a truck into that Gardevoir. A Sinistcha will probably go down to a Heat Wave boosted in the sun. We'll see how this plays out. As well, Gardevoir has the opportunity to get a Hyper Voice off here. It's going to hit both Basculegion and Pyro for a decent amount of damage, because remember, that Gardevoir is Calm Mind boosted as well. So the reason it's not taken, +1 in special defense as well. So it is a very bulky Gardevoir, which is probably why it's just sitting around on this map. He hasn't swapped that Gardevoir out once.
Okay, let's see how it goes here. We have a Rage Bar coming in here, but do I really care if we're gonna press Heat Wave? Not really, right? Of course, but look at that. That's the KO pick out for third one. Now it's just one last one they do figure on, but we have to really make some effort to see how they plan to finish it up. Last Reaction going through here, it is going to be 100 base power because of the additional 50 for each member team. And I think, at least for now, if he wants to go at it again with the Life Orb as well, there's nothing stopping him from just sweeping this.
Yeah, right now, I mean, Stone VGC has dropped 3 Pokemon, so Kaike has held on quite well in every sense of the word. So right now, there's no Tailwind up. I believe Pyro is the fastest Pokemon on the field, followed by Basculegion and then Pelipper. But Pelipper could set up a Tailwind, predicting that it could survive. It doesn't have... Let me just check right now. It doesn't have any... Nope, it does not have any spread moves. It's got Hurricane, Weather Ball, Tailwind, and Wide Guard. So it could go for the Wide Guard here, predicting that we're going to see a Heat Wave. The Pyro is carrying Solar Beam as well alongside Overheat. So it just depends what interaction this Pelipper wants to have. Does it survive a last respect in the rain? Nope, it's going to go for Aqua Jet first, which is an interesting shot.
Okay. Right, I mean, that's fair, right? Aqua Jet coming in with priority +1, goes in, deals the damage, and then comes out. And especially Life Orb as well, right? On the other hand here, I mean, Pyro is just kind of stuck, unable to switch with anything, and just has to keep hitting the button until the cows come home.
Yeah, absolutely. Hurricane is going to hit onto the Basculegion. I think that was the smart targeting choice of Stone John. That's a Life Orb Pelipper? I think the Life Orb chip might have just cost Stonestorm this match, because if they're able to get... But actually, I am mistaken, because they've got Wide Guard, so it's Overheat going to be going through, and does that take out the Pelipper? It does. Kaike, from a very disadvantageous position, does bring this match around, Natara.
I really don't think there's a way you can turn this one back into your favor after everything is done. But you did get the great scout into what the opponent's probably going to bring here. So maybe there's a chance that we can actually see how this one pans out for itself in the next round here. Because, I mean, honestly, a lot of great things to look forward to.
I mean, we were kind of a little bit critical of Kaike not swapping out that Pyro a little bit sooner. Just a little bit with the special attack drop, and also firing off those Heat Waves in the rain as well. But inevitably, that chip damage over time from that Pyro towards the end of the game really worked in Kaike's favor. So Stone Storm, I think, took a nice lead, but I think maybe a few too many protects. I mean, they had the offensive pressure going on, but instead of attacking, they decided to they kind of underutilized their own tailwind with Gardevoir, where they could have just fired off some hyper voices. But again, this is just the back and forth nature that we see with VGC. So how do you see this next game going through? Is it going to be the same leads of Pyro and Farigiraf?
Hold that thought, Hero. Let me think about it a little bit.
All right, I'll give you some time to think.
Yeah, no worries. I think initial thoughts, it's a very I wouldn't say one-sided, but like it feels like I think you're just gonna be taking beatings. It's gonna be a very trade heavy thing. You wanna see how much damage you can dish out, and that will be the deciding factor. Obviously for any game, right, with HP bar. So I really think it will be a whimsical lead though, because they want to set tailwind potentially. We might see things like the Mega Fluid come into play here, Ninetales a little bit later on, but also importantly to note is that, I mean, at this stage, not a lot of Pokemon can be dealt with. For example, Farigiraf coming to the field means that, you know, the entire team's kind of shut down because there's no real counterplay to not being able to press your moves, right? Because you're just stuck. What can you possibly do in this situation? When there's a priority move, Armortail's here to block you.
Yeah, look, the same leads are going to be led by Stone Storm. It is going to be Pyro in and the Mega Gardevoir. However, it is going to be Basket Legion and Mega Flow and Eternal Flower Floette that takes the hit of the Intimidate. Basket Legion kind of gets a little bit weakened when you do pop that Intimidate on it. However, so Kaike straight away on the back foot here, didn't want to deal with the rain too much. Thought, let's just bring the heavy artillery with this Eternal Flower Floette.
Let's hope that, you know, we can see some of that action just a little bit here. I mean, because it's going to be a bit tough, especially starting off. You're not really sure what they're looking out for each side until we get a clearer picture here. A nice shot with arrow. See if it connects into the Mega Fluid later on here. He's leading the charge here. See, now there's a very big, you know, imaginary logo, a big imaginary arrow onto Mega Fluid that they need to kind of like, you know, stop the arrow from pointing to, because it is arguably the win con of the entire team, especially with the 4 they picked up. Very likely it is going to come out. Definitely comes through here is not a lot of damage here, but you can definitely see that they're just trying to check and set them up. But look at the Carmine, so daring and calling it out. I do like how Stone Storm is just saying, alright, you want to play with me? This is what I'm putting on the table.
That's very interesting. An Intimidated dropped a Wave Crash into the Incineroar. The Pasture Berry did not matter at all. Get rid of that Incineroar straight away. But right now, the interesting thing is, even though losing the Incineroar, taking the recoil damage as well, Basket Legion also going to take Life Orb damage. Could be a smart chance to reset the Basket Legion as well. However, you do have a Calm Mind boosted Gardevoir, Mega Gardevoir, that is also being boosted by the Fairy Aura. So once again, these Hyper Voices are not going to tickle. However, I mean, Floette right now, it's spread damage coming through. We'll see what decides to happen. Honestly, a switch out of the Basket Legion or try to get a priority off, because they just healed that Gardevoir right back up to full.
I mean, what can you possibly say in this situation, right? They were already prepared for it as they go into it. And also, remember, as they send the Sinistcha out, it is onto someone who already has a little bit of bulk in her kit already, and she can do it again to get, you know, all the required stats. You just have to make everything so much harder, right? Another Calm Mind could really make the game so hard. That's the game gets popped off here, and again, I feel like this should be the opportunity to up some stats, and we will see it just a bit. No! Decides to go for the Hyper Voice instead, and gets the KO. What a beautiful thing. I mean, if you screamed at me, Lobo, I would jump off my seat just like how this fish is jumped off the water. I
mean, that I just sit down. Basket Legion, Gardevoir, single Hyper Voice managing to carry the Basket Legion. After the Wave Crash chip damage, as well as the Life Orb chip damage, Trick Room has been set by the Sinistcha now as well. Farigiraf is going to come out. I think this Farigiraf is also running Trick Room as well. Let me just double check my notes. It is, so they do have the option to reset the Trick Room on their side. Farighraph also running Twin Beam and Thunderbolt. Not going to be super helpful into this match just yet. Twin Beam is going to do enough, but that Gardevoir has got a special defense boost. So we'll see what's going to happen here. It could just be a helping hand right into this Floette. However, one Hyper Voice and this Floette is going to go down. They're going to opt to protect their Floette this time around.
Okay. Let's see what comes out here. The Deuce Delanteros come into play with a beautiful route to see if we can just change the tide of batch a little bit, but no. The Hyper Voice comes in, does damage, stealth. They do proc a berry out here before any unaware or maybe any unnerved Pokemon comes into play. But now, once again, it looks like we've turned the tides of the story just a little bit here with that.
With the Trick Room. I mean, it's a smart play from Storm. It's a smart play from Storm. Once you see a Farighraph, you automatically assume that the Trick Room is going to come out. So there's the counter Trick Room. So Storm still has speed control. Farighraph does survive, but the Master Ghatlue are going to come through due to that extra speed control. Don't want to get a burn off right now because that extra chip damage on Farighraph. However, I believe this Hyper Voice that's about to come through right now, Nightera, is going to KO both of these Pokemon. There we go. Big scream. And all that's left for Kaike right now is that Mega Floette in the background. He has to find a way to deal with this Mega Gardevoir because so far it has been the biggest problem to deal with. And there's the white one. White flag gets set by Kaike. Okay. So we're going to go to 1-1. Once again, we have a Game 3 situation. Now,
it is tough.
Again,
I agree.
That Mega Gardevoir was a problem. I think the Basculegion lead, obviously Basculegion does a lot better with that Last Respects. It does decent damage into the Sinister and decent damage into the Gardevoir. I think leaving it out after the Intimidate was a risky play by Kaike.
I mean, it is true it is risky, but at the same time, I can see where the gamble comes into play here, and I kind of respect that a little bit, right? You kind of need to, it's a bit of risk management in Pokemon Unite, Pokemon Champions, where you have to figure out, whether it is the right time to pick a spread move with a little bit less accuracy, and are you willing to gamble that chance, or just take a simple KO at time. And it's kind of the same concept here, where you just need to gamble at the fact that, hey, this could happen, but if I don't do something now, right, I'm definitely 100% going to lose the game because I'm just taking a brunt of it. And you can definitely see how the opponent's Snowstorm is like, he takes advantage of that. He's like, all right, I know you're going to do this roughly, you know, because there's almost no reason why you shouldn't. So I'm just going to press Combine a second time and see what you want to respond with, for example. You know? And I like that.
The Calm Minds in that first turn have been very, very beneficial to Stonestorm because Kaike has been trying to play around the Calm Minds. He has a fairly bulky team that is able to absorb one Calm Minded up Gardevoir, but if Stonestorm decides to get a little bit greedy and go for that second Calm Mind, it could just be a straight sweep. Mega Floette, I mean, it was an okay, I think, pick, but the fact that Stonestorm has that Mega Gardevoir pick there, you're also boosting the Gardevoir with that Fairy Aura. So sitting pretty with that Mega Floette, I don't know if it was the best choice. Maybe they bring it again, maybe they don't. But a Mega Gardevoir lead once again with the Incineroar is what Stonestorm has done for the last 2 games. Let's see if they continue that with Game 3. And it is going to be the same lead. Definitely going to be a Calm Mind coming up. And it is going to be Pyroar and Basculegion leading up.
Right, and so as we do see how this pans out here, it's gonna come down to the first thing, which is not a good sign.
Oh no!
Oh, I guess that is a better sign. You know,
it's a good sign for Stonestorm that it traces the adaptability from the Gardevoir, as the Gardevoir is going to trace the adaptability from the Basculegion. Sorry, other way around. Right now, I mean, how we saw in Game 1, it went Fake Out into the Pyroar, and then possibly a Calm Mind from the Gardevoir is a very dangerous, but they're also threatening the Last Respects here as well from the Basculegion.
Right, going into that though, we are going to be seeing opportunity open up for the side of Stones here, which is, I mean, at this point, you definitely want to Mega in, see you can take damage before it gets lowered again. I mean, the only reason you won the last round, I would say, is because sheer force of will to stay longer than your opponent, I feel.
Yeah, look, we're going to get both Megas committed turn 1. Pyro probably just going to go for this overheat right now, straight in to both slots on the side of Stone Storm. We could see a fake out come through, so no damage is going to come out from the Pyro anywhere. Pyro's going to flinch. Who's the next person to go off? Hyper Voice is the first one. That is a Carmine boosted Hyper Voice. Didn't do too much damage that time around, however. And the Wave Crash into the Gardevoir, physically boosted, but with the Intimidate, that is not going to do enough to knock out the Gardevoir just yet.
Okay, now the damage is being dealt, and we are going to be seeing a little bit better than before. Have a little bit of luck to keep it up and running, but I don't know if we can take another hit just like that.
No, I don't think so. But what we saw in game one, the Incineroar did Parting Shot into the Pyro. So a swap into the Ninetales here to set the sun and give yourself even more of a fire boost to ensure that Gardevoir does go down, because that Parting Shot will probably swap into the Sinister, or it will probably swap into the Pelipper to reduce that amount of fire damage. So big chess game, a big read has to be made. I mean,
yes, fair enough.
Go ahead.
I mean, you know, he has to do so much work just to get everything off and running on this run right here. And I'm not sure if that's just enough. Right, like throwing this Heat Wave out here, it feels correct because you want to take down Ghatlue, but at the same time, it's against one who itself is a fire type, so he's happily just taking it. But with that being said, though, a Wave Crash comes in here. I do believe that's a proc onto the Prankster later on. I mean,
yeah,
there's just so much to look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, the Intimidate is a big thing. Kaikei's kind of, I want to say, resilience to swapping out when their Pokemon. So we had, that's a double physical attack drop. Now that's a single special attack drop from the Pyro as well. We're going to see what decides to come in first. I believe it's the faster weather setter is what procs the weather first. So if this is a Ninetales that decides to come out, it is going to set. Yeah, it is. No, a Ninetales versus Pelipper. The Ninetales' Drought would have been set first, and then the Drizzle would have come after that. Now let's see what Kaikei decides to send out.
Okay, and now let's take a look into this though. It's almost like you're staring at the barrel of a gun, right? Technically, these two mods are in great positions to kind of suit out the game, but it really comes down to the support Pokemon. It just gives us so much more. For example, now that Yellow Ninetales has been called out here, there's going to be a massive Heat Wave here, a Drought even, coming into this. And you have a Sinister there. I don't know what else I'm supposed to tell you. It just doesn't look good.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If that is Pelipper in the background, you're going to dampen all of the Fire-type moves by a decent amount, and the Pelipper's going to swap in right now to reset the weather. So we're going to get 2 Fire-type moves that are going to come off here, but they're only going to be boosted by Mega Pyro. Oh, Fake Tears! Wow, Fake Tears into... That is it. I think that's a really smart move. Into the Overheat, really going to prioritize that Gardevoir. It lives on 1, Nitera.
Just very rough, the fact that you see that and you're like, how did you live at 1? And in this case, if I
can tell you,
on
I can tell you how they lived at 1. It was due to the fact of the Parting Shot from the Incineroar. If that Parting Shot from the Incineroar is not there, because that's a -1 special attack on the Pyro. Freegraph going to come out now as well. This one looks tough because Ninetales itself, very frail Pokemon, still very fast Pokemon, and they still have Sinister and Incineroar in the back as well. So, but Gardevoir is dangerously low too.
Ooh, and there it is. They're gonna give up a little bit more to work with, especially when it's down. There's a Hyper Voice coming in through here, but not enough to clean the house just yet. It's still in a very bad position for the side of Ben, who needs to actually make it through with 2 Pokemon left in his arsenal versus the 4 on the other side, who's, I mean, Stone Storm, he's just happy to just sit down there and, just wait.
Twin Beam is the move of choice onto the Pelipper. I mean, I do believe that they're also running Thunderbolt. I mean, with the special defense, I'm curious as to why possibly the moves were, I mean, not Thunderbolt into the Pelipper. It could have been taken out there. I don't know. Maybe they were predicting the swap back in instead, but we'll see. And that is going to be a forfeit. Kaikei is going to give it Stone Storm, putting on a very, very clean performance against a very hyper offensive Mega Pyro team this time around. Congratulations to them. They're going to maintain their undefeated streak heading on into the next round, which is going to be round 5, Nitera. But I mean, that is going to be it for us today. A very short stream to cover a few of the Swiss matches for this competition. So I mean, it's always fun when we get to cast some of these games. You and I are both big fans of Pokemon in general, and now Pokemon Champions as well. So, I mean, give me your thoughts so far on what we saw before we head on out of here.
I mean, we saw a very big range of Pokemon, right? We saw things like the Zoroark illusions. I mean, I'm just very sad we didn't get to see a lot of that, even though I disliked it. We saw a big range of megas. We saw, different strategies being employed with these megas as well. Pokemon that shouldn't have been here a few years ago when megas were a thing are now suddenly popping up like, flies. Right. And we will continue to see a lot more of this because I think, Lobo, you have yet to we haven't talked a lot about how things work here behind the scenes, and we have yet to share what we've been doing with Pokemon Champions on our own time here, right? And so this is going to get people interested in watching us. What's going to get people interested in watching today's show. It's also going to be who the players are coming into it after the Swiss round. So we're going to leave a little bit of Swiss rounds for you to kind of just hope and look forward to on your own time. But if not, Lobo, that's what I've got to tell everyone here.
Yeah, also, I mean, big shout outs to Rework Esports as well for putting on the second cup. I hope they continue to do a lot more Champions Cups and we get to follow them. It's
we'll be there for different
time. Yeah, we'll be there for the third. Just, I mean, we just wanted to give and fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh if we can. But that's going to be us here. Big shout outs to Shivam and Bina, who are our eyes behind the scenes, telling us what matches to watch and doing all the incredible production stuff as usual. Thank you to Nitera for joining me for a short cast, but a good cast. We will see you guys, I do believe, tomorrow for some more Unite action. But until then, have an absolutely fantastic morning, evening, or good night, wherever you are. We'll see you next time. Love you lots. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.